What's going on at Taka Squad? It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Enemy 343, and basically, this might come as a little bit of a shock, but I don't know if I might actually have any guests, but I might be flying solo for a bit, depending if people might actually stop in and say hi or whatever, or join me in chat, whatever actually works, I guess. But listen, I've actually got this really freaking nagging sensation on my back right now, and I really need to just get this off my chest. Excuse me. It's the fact that people always actually take words out of context of what a person is trying to say. Now, this really just infuriates me that whenever something happens, like, for instance, when Lex HD was actually talking about gatekeeping, they actually missed the context of what he was trying to say. Now, apparently, this just actually comes as a bit of a shock for me, though. It's just how people always actually perceive things as like, what do I want to say there? I'm at a loss for words. I usually can't do this without my friends, but I actually have a few issues. Like a few people have actually had to deal with work, but I can understand that. I love you guys. If you're actually working, I completely understand. Work is actually very important, and I'm kind of out of a job due to the virus and stuff, and it just drives me nuts. I mean, basically, if I still have my job, I would actually be working just as well, trying to support for my family. But since the coof actually just threw a monkey wrench at my work, I can't be able to actually deal with the grinds of actually washing dishes, sweeping and mopping floors, taking care of the clean dishes, you know taking out the garbage and stuff like that. That's what I actually did with my job as a kitchen steward over at Hollywood Casino in Bangor, Maine. But and in fact, I just really want to let you guys know, context is like one of the greatest things that people tend to forget. That's why I'm actually doing this live stream. And of course, this is actually due to the fact that Yakuza Western Killa actually was just, you know, so nagging at me for actually trying to push this narrative. Why? He doesn't understand that I was trying to actually follow up, respectfully to a Taka Daikins video about people being called incels, neckbeards, virgins, nice guys. They're actually deflecting their own insecurities onto us and making us look bad. People should actually learn to own up to their mistakes. Because that's another thing that really freaking bothers me as much as context is accountability. People need to be held accountable for their mistakes. We're human. That's the thing. You see, people don't understand that if you don't actually give the context of what a person is trying to say, then basically this is just how people are. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I just actually feel really bad right now. Oh, sorry guys. It's just that if I actually had more people on here, I would have actually had a little more in-depth conversation with other people. But man, it's just really. Hang on just a second. Oh, thoughts on Anime 505? I really don't care about that guy. He's just worse than freaking Mother's Basement, and he's actually a prominent Kick Vic member, just like MB. That's the thing that these people don't understand. people are always, relying on outrage. They're always clickbaiting each other into making certain issues. And I don't know why this is actually freaking just becoming so irrelevant for me. I mean, basically, people always try to create like straw man issues out of nothing, just so they can actually deflect their own shortcomings onto a certain issue. Like when Australia was actually, trying to ban and censor anime, or Russia, or even Germany with the redo of Healer. But basically, hang on just a second. Hang on. I might have a possible guest. I'll just actually give him a few minutes. Just hopefully, we can actually be able to do something about this, because I really can't stand people actually taking words out of context. Just like Yakuza Western Killer. I know I keep mentioning him, but this guy has really been rubbing me the wrong way. Whoops. Hang on, I'll be right with you guys. Sorry about that. I was just checking my Twitter, and basically it's kind of hard to do everything with just a phone here. And like I said, I just really hope to get some guests on, and we can do more in depth, because I hate doing solo live streams, and basically it's kind of irritating, because I usually do longer live streams if I actually have like, guests to actually share ideas with, and it actually helps with with me coping with certain issues. But people don't understand that. They don't see the issues that a person has when it comes to dealing with censorship, when it comes to dealing with localization of, certain entertainment, dealing with outrage mobs. That's actually another thing that really freaking bugs me. And of course, who could forget certain sites like Reset Era? Those people just really just know how to rub a person the wrong way. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just actually needing a few minutes just to cope with my own issues. But like I said, this is actually just becoming more and more redundant for me, of course. People who actually clout chase, who actually don't even care about the issues that they're fighting for, or people who actually just want to pander to certain issues that they think will actually make them more money, I just kind of find that completely stupid. You're supposed to fight for the issues that you're fighting for. But yet, whenever they push this narrative that we're the issues of what's wrong with this country, instead of taking full accountability, that's just unacceptable. Second. Yeah. Ugh. Sometimes I don't even know what to do with myself if I actually didn't have any guests on. Not since we got two viewers so far. Well, welcome to the live stream, you guys. I know it's not much, but I usually do much more better if I actually had somebody. Oh, thoughts on Animat 505? I really don't like the guy. I mean, he's actually a total creep. And basically, this is just my personal thoughts. Like, oh, I really don't like Animat or Mother's Basement or any like these anime elitists, like the Anime Man, Digine slash Digibro, or freaking Mother's Basement for that matter, because basically I like to call them the Trinity of elites. And basically, it just rubs me the wrong way whenever I actually watch people like that. Somehow it kind of eats me up. Certain issues, I mean, I can understand that they actually have different points of view, but basically, saying your word is God just doesn't fly with me, okay? Hang on a second. Okay. Hang on a second. I'll be right with you. All right. Hopefully, I'll actually have some guests on. Fingers crossed. But beyond that, I'm really glad that I actually have a small, like, niche community to actually be with here. Because basically, I really can't stand idly by and just watch, somebody push a narrative against, like, us in the anime community. We actually have, certain issues that we're trying to deal with. Like, people trying to say that anime fans are incels, anime fans are neckbeards, anime fans are virgins. Well, hang on a second, guys. I just gotta send a message here. All right. But beyond that, it's just completely stupid if you ask me. I just actually find it completely just uncalled for that people are just trying to push a narrative against us, saying that, we're what's wrong with the world when they don't take accountability for their actions. Hang on a second. Hang on. Well, restricting porn will work. Personally, porn moderation works better. Yeah, I totally feel that part, but I'm kind of on the fence about that. I mean, I actually enjoy, Schmentoid better, but that's just my personal preference. But I actually totally believe that, moderation of moderation of it would actually be much better. But banning it downright, you're just actually going to create like a Pandora's box, just like trying to ban anime, for instance. But anyway, I'm back again, and like I said, if anybody actually wants to join in, I'll actually leave a link to there. I left the link, so hang on, I got a guest. Oh, it's Luna.
Hello?
Add to the stream. Hey, Luna.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up?
Oh, not much. Just freaking going over like how people are always missing the context of certain messages. Like I was actually dealing with Yakuza Western Killa. How he was actually calling me out for actually doing a follow up video to a fellow YouTuber by the name of Otaku Daikun. And here's the thing. Oh God, he actually thought I was actually personally attacking him. Instead, I was just following up with him on a certain message that he was actually sending about like being anime fans being called quote unquote incels. It just freaking irritates me when people just take a certain message that someone is trying to put, try to actually get across, and basically what they do is they take those words and just take it out of context and just use it as like rage. Like for instance, remember Black Sage D's tweet about gatekeeping?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah, and how much he was actually getting. Oh God.
Yeah, like retreats and everything. Yes, I remember that because the thing is though he is right about that though because apparently though I mean I've been watching anime since I was just a little girl. I was like watch Sailor Moon since back in '95. I was just a little girl though, and I love watching it. I love watching Sailor Moon and the things though I love watching old school anime. I grew up watching from Dragon Ball Z, Tenchi Muyo, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon. Let's see what else. Digimon, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. I grew up watching all these things and I grew up watching these things like years ago, and that still hasn't even changed. And the thing is though, I feel like that if he wants to gatekeep anime, he wants to gatekeep. I say let him because he actually makes a good point though because there is some people that don't even know about the animes that was in the '90s though. I mean, some of them wasn't even born in the '90s. Some of them was like born in 2000 something like that. So yeah.
89. So basically, yeah, I know what you mean, but basically, here's the thing for me. I mean, I grew up on anime myself, and I actually remember some of the anime you mentioned as well. But basically, here's the thing. We're actually tired of like all these like big anime journalists and gaming journalists actually saying stuff like, anime is misogynistic, it's sexist, it's racist, it's homophobic, and it actually makes people to like Nazis.
Oh my God, man! I cannot believe I'm over there hearing this crap, dog. As long as I've been watching anime, there is nothing racist, misogynistic, or homophobic about it. Why is people always saying that? I mean, I seriously though, some of these woke people over there need to stay asleep.
Exactly, but basically, I mean, I actually really respect you, and I really respect those around me because basically, all I ask for is that if you guys earn my respect by actually showing me respect, then I'll give you my respect in return. Yeah. But you see, people always actually tend to just push a narrative and think that it's going to get them likes and retweets. That's practically like their motivation. It's just trying to create the next hot take.
Exactly.
Oh, and don't even get me started on this one. But basically, if you actually don't agree with them, they'll actually freaking block you. They'll actually call you names and just say stuff behind your back. Yeah, try to cancel you. Oh God. This is why
I can't stand cancel culture. It's not good. And not only that though, it's not good though. You don't need to cancel people or cancel things just because you don't like it. If you don't like it, keep it that way. No need to cancel it. No need to, like, to get it ruined or something like that, or to make people life miserable just because you don't like that person or something. If you want to be offended, then you can be offended, but don't tell people how they like it, or how they, how they should feel about it. That's what we
Exactly.
have minds.
But
That's what we have, like, we have separate. That's what we have minds in order for us to think of our own. And even I
exactly.
know that.
I mean, I'm happy I got a mind too. So,
Yeah, me
but
too.
it's just completely ignorant how, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all
Yeah,
these other sites are actually trying to push their like agendas onto other people.
yeah, exactly.
Especially if people like the outrage mobs actually kind of speak for like another person. Don't speak
Oh
out
yeah,
for me. I have my own voice.
exactly. Me too. This is why over there we all have, like, we all have minds over there to think of it. I mean, think of what we need to do. I mean, don't ever do no stuff like that. I mean, people have a right to like what they like. It doesn't matter if it's politics, anime,
Yeah.
or or anything, or has something to do with being a feminist or something like that. They all have their right to like what they like, but what they don't have is the right to tell them what they need to do, Because to me, that's just like cult. Cause that's like sheep, like cult. And I'm
Yeah.
no sheep, and I don't follow nobody. I follow my own. I mean, my own perspective, and everyone should too.
Um, Clint Matthews actually brings up a good point. Normal people like something, so they don't watch it. SJWs don't like something and try to keep everyone from watching it. That's actually, like the textbook Streisand effect.
Hmm. Oh yeah, this
Basically,
tries now.
yeah, the more people try to actually push it to the side, the more popularity it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Wolvania, what is that? Are you talking about Castlevania? Because it's actually a pretty interesting series though. But
It is. It's actually pretty good.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's been a while since I last played the games though. But
Oh, I remember the games of it.
yeah, the last game I played was Castlevania 2. I mean, yeah, for like the PS3, and that was actually freaking like years ago. Back when back when the PS3 was still around, and
Hmm. Ah, good
but the
times.
good times indeed. And basically, I can't stand Sweeney actually just pushing a narrative against anime fans, censoring anime games and stuff like that, while actually having The Last of Us 2 actually having like a sex scene between Abby and like the self-insert Neil Cuckman. Oh god, that is just wrong. If it should actually be rules for thee, but not for me. It should actually apply to everyone.
Hmm.
But we're living in a society where basically, if you actually have wrong think, then basically, just like that, you're canceled.
And that's stupid, anyways. I
I
don't
mean,
know
look at
whoever.
Gina. Basically, they freaking fired her for actually having a different opinion from what I want to say there from the higher ups of Lucasfilm, including Kathleen Kennedy. And you know what got them? Absolutely ratioed.
I
I'm
think
just
it's still
actually,
stupid.
yeah, I still agree. It's actually stupid, and basically, nobody should actually have to go through with dealing
It's
with
actually
cancer
stupid,
culture.
and it's actually pretty stupid for firing people for, I mean, for something that's trivial. That's over an opinion. That's really stupid. I mean,
Exactly, and
if you don't like your opinion, just ignore it though. Just ignore it and go on by your way. But instead, you want to fire that person, ruin their careers because you don't like their opinion. Okay, whoop-de-doo, big whoop. You're not a child. This isn't elementary school. This is not even high school though. If you don't like their opinions, just simply ignore it. That's all you have to do. Don't just go on social media and say, "Oh, this person has said this. Let's cancel him." You know how freaking stupid that is. It's very stupid, and that's why I don't even like cancel culture. I mean, just because we don't like a certain someone known as Big Manana, and I like him a lot, okay, ignore him. Don't talk to him. Don't associate with him. Leave him alone. Or that woman that got fired over there from the Mandalorian. Okay, if you don't like her opinion, just simply ignore it. It's not hard.
Exactly,
It's just
but
that
basically, go ahead.
some people are
Uh,
simple minded these days. I hate to say it. I think the cancel culture era is simple minded, and that's what it is. People with simple minded people that follows things that it's very stupid and trivial. So I hate to say it though, the cancel culture need to be canceled big time.
Also, Clint Matthews actually brings up a good point as well. But they give Pedro Pascal a pass when he basically did the same thing. I mean, basically, when he actually said that half of the Star Wars fandom are actually white supremacists, that's a pass. But basically, Gina Carano actually having a different opinion and supporting our former president, that's actually that's grounds for being canceled. God. Ask me to drink, I tell you. That's what cancel culture drives me to do. It drives me to drink.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just it's just so much stupidity that people are actually trying to actually see who can actually outdo who. Try to get as many woke points. It's just like a sadistic little game to them.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Sound like a robot, but in the back.
Oh, somehow that's my Wi-Fi. I do apologize. I'm gonna
It's okay.
see if I can.
I can hear you now. I can hear you good now.
Okay, hold on. I'm still
All right, all right.
processing here. I'm trying. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me try this again.
All right.
There I go. Now I'm back. But basically, I kind of had to
Okay.
turn the router on and off on my phone here. So,
Mm-hmm.
but beyond, it's like the longer the stream goes, the more it kind of gets a little choppy.
Uh-huh.
But beyond that, I just actually had to say that freaking cancel culture, SJWs, feminists, and people like that, this just drives me nuts.
You do. It drives me crazy. I mean, we're literally getting too old for this. We are. So all I gotta say is cancel culture sucks. And it does.
And don't even get me started on the Trump derangement syndrome. These people,
Oh.
these like cancel culture morons and SJWs, they are the biggest sufferers of this. And they can't even take
Uh-huh.
freaking facts and logic. Basically, that's like one of the things that just really sets them off.
Yeah, they get set off so easily. It's stupid. I mean, I know I have anger issues and I have problems, stuff like that, but when it comes to stuff like this that don't make no sense to me or that's pretty stupid, it ain't worth getting mad over. And they should know that too. Common sense could have told them that there's nothing to get mad over. Nothing to cancel about. But it's like I said before, if you don't like something, you don't like a show or a person, it's okay. Then you have a right not to like them. But do not go on social media over there and say that you don't like this person and shit be canceled. Okay. I don't like anybody either. Hey, I don't even like Donald Trump. But it doesn't mean I should go on social media and cancel him. That's none of my business. I just stay true to myself and just don't like them. They don't like Joe Biden either. But I also stay true to myself. I mean, that's just me though. But everybody could do that too. They have a choice over there I mean, just to go on by their business and just don't like the person. That's all they have to do. It's easy. It's pretty easy. It is not hard.
I know. And basically, they don't understand that because they don't actually use the thing that they keep in their heads, aka the brain. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's like their brain cells are non-existent.
Nope. To be honest with you, they don't. All they got
Excuse
is
me.
TikTok and them. No.
Oh, don't even get me started on TikTok. That is why I don't have a TikTok account.
Yeah, I got rid of mine. It's becoming a cesspool.
Yeah, and
It's
basically, yeah, go ahead.
no, no. I mean, oh no, no. I was about to say you go ahead though. I mean, go. I mean, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, basically, like I said, don't even get me started on the localization of certain things, whether it's actually with freaking prison school. My first girlfriend is a gal, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, or any of these other like you know inserts for certain issues, like saying that white supremacy or evil, Gamergate, misogyny. If it doesn't fit in there, why the hell did these people even put it in there in the first place?
Because they want to be woke. Every time I see those kinds of people like that, they claim that they're so woke. Okay, if you want to be woke, then stay woke. You need to be woke for a good reason, not something as trivial as as anime. Anime saved my
Exactly.
life. To be honest with you, it helped
Yeah,
me. It helped me, to learn some things that I never learned before. It really did. It also taught me some good values. Also taught me how to, how to like be yourself, and instead of being somebody else. So why is it misogynistic and why is it racist? Why they say that? I don't know. I never thought anime was racist. They never say anything racist. They never did anything racist, or even say, let alone even say racist stuff. And now it's misogynistic. I mean, come on. There's girls in anime. There's guys in anime. There's everybody in anime and stuff. And there's like also creatures like there's some there. I mean, there's like some furries and there's some dragons. There's mechas. So honestly, I don't see there's nothing wrong with anime. So I don't know why they think it's misogynistic, racist, or homophobic. So I don't know. I honestly do not understand at all.
basically, here's the thing. You see, there was this one video that actually got freaking ratioed, talking about black representation in anime. Oh god, it was from
Ugh.
the Guardian, and yeah, they actually
Ugh.
basically I think we might have actually covered this in another live stream once. It was actually about Mr. Popo actually being a freaking representation of a freaking Gollywog doll.
Ain't he a genie?
I think so.
He's a freaking genie with a turban. He's like a genie, like a turban, wearing Arabic clothes. How was that? How was that racist? I mean, I don't see anything racist about Mr. Popo. I really don't. Honestly, God, I really, really don't. I mean, I've seen him on Dragon Ball. Seen him on Dragon Ball Z. So again, how is it racist?
That's a good question. I wish I had an answer for you. It's just these simple Puritans trying to find something to actually be offended by for the sake of actually just being ignorant.
Honestly, man, I think they're just trying to get attention. And this is
That
not the way to get attention.
exactly, and I totally agree.
It's a really stupid way to get attention.
And
Okay, if you want to be woke for the right reasons. Be woke for the innocent black people that was getting killed by police for no apparent reason. Be woke because there's homeless people. Be woke because because there are people dying from COVID. Don't be woke over something you don't like. Don't be woke over it just because that you hate somebody, that you don't like somebody, or he make you uncomfortable or something like that. Okay, I mean that's all you have to do. That's what actually being woke is to actually give a damn and to care about something that's going on this world. Okay, anime has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Neither is voice actors, neither is actors. They're human just like us. And they have feelings just like us. So so what I mean, so why is people over there claiming that they're so woke? Okay, then be woke. Then be woke, but for the right reasons. And I'm a black person. I am. And yes, black lives do matter. But if you actually care about Black Lives Matter, then you would actually stand up for Black Lives Matter. Don't you just put the damn hashtag over there just for fucking clout. Don't ever do that.
exactly,
That's not good.
I think
I don't even
you
put the
know
hashtag on there because they're using that for clout. And that's embarrassing.
exactly, and basically, I'm actually more of a believer that all lives matter, not just blacks or whites, but every life. Unless you're actually a criminal, though.
No,
I
I'm not
really
a
can't.
criminal. I'm not a criminal, but I do believe Black lives do matter though. But yeah, yes,
Yeah,
all lives do matter, but Black lives also matter too because the thing is though, I'm a black person myself and I live in the South. I deal with racism every day. It's not. I mean, it's a daily everything, and it's tiresome. I mean, I
yeah, I
live here in
know.
the state, and I'm just. I just want to say, just if you want to like be for Black Lives Matter, and just do something for Black Lives Matter. Don't just put the damn hashtag over there just for freaking clout. I cannot stand that. Hmm?
Yeah,
Hey, where
I
you
agree.
going?
Sorry, I had to grab my cord because my I need to charge my phone. There we go. Let's see if we got another guest on. Geek
Ooh,
Hero, hang on just a second, bud. Geek Hero,
Howdy.
what's up?
Oh, I'm driving home from work.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
nice,
I'm just charging my
nice.
phone up, and
Thank you.
you know, we're just actually just sitting here talking about issues with the freaking the missing of context of certain things, and
Oh yeah.
basically how people are always relying on outrage and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
That's what they do best.
Yeah,
I
that's all
totally
they
agree, man.
do.
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's what they do best. They just like to cancel things over there just because they don't like it. I mean, I just honestly don't understand about that. Damn, I'm frozen. Oh, no, I'm not. But yeah, like I said before, cancel culture need to be canceled,
Yep.
and it's starting to get on my nerves though, and I am literally getting too over this. I am.
Yeah, because basically, I know how you feel about anime saving you, of course, but it also saved me as well because without anime, I might have actually done some stupid stuff like might have actually done drugs, might have committed
Hmm.
suicide and stuff like that. But that's for me actually being a victim of child abuse as a kid from
Mm.
an abusive stepdad, and
Hmm.
I'm I'm still holding on to certain issues and stuff like that, but it's kind of hard for me to let go. And I'm still struggling with my personal demons per se, but people
Hmm.
just really need to learn to actually be respectful of each other.
Hmm.
Got anything to add there, Geek Hero?
Well, Well, and that's the thing that it's getting to where they're starting to cancel over the tiniest things. And
Yeah.
what I hate the most, kind of like kind of like the rising sun being taken out of the background on Street Fighter 2. If they hadn't decided to virtue signal and make that known, nobody would have even noticed for months even that it had even been removed. But they took it out and they decided to make a spectacle of it. They leaked it to several different media outlets so they could brag about it, and then one of those media outlets happened to think that it was stupid, and so now they're being attacked and threatened and to be canceled just because the rising sun was supposed to be some kind of Japanese imperialist. I mean, we're talking about that they're trying to compare it to the swastika, but that's not the same.
No,
Yes,
it's not.
back in the day, back in the day, imperialist Japan did some terrible things, but what empire hasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that I'm tired of people saying that we need to atone for the sins of our ancestors. We need to do what we know is right today. We need to treat each other like human beings, and we need to move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just freaking makes me mad that people actually just have to rely on certain issues, you know, say that they're for certain issues, but they actually just do the complete opposite. That's actually, textbook hypocrisy. Saying you're
Oh, it
doing
is.
one thing but doing another.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna switch my cam off for a little bit. I'm going inside. I'm gonna feed my dog and everything. So, but I'm still gonna be on the headphones.
Okay,
All
well,
right. Take your time.
we'll be right here. Besides,
All right,
hey, like I said,
but like I said, I ain't going anywhere. I can still hear everything.
yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I really can't stand how people always actually take, what a person is trying to say and just, oh, Alex actually just popped on and said they treat sins of the father as an excuse for perpetual punishment.
Yep.
He's 100%
That's exactly
right.
what it is.
He's 100% right.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Hang on. Someone is actually typing me on Discord, and I'm just answering them real quick. Here we go. Well, anyway, someone was asking me, can you be too old to be playing video games? But you know what I'm going to say? I just actually replied with no.
Oh, that person just left.
I just actually sent him the link, so he could just pop back on when he's ready.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, because basically I did leave the link for you guys if you guys wanted to, pop in and, chat with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically I prefer, having a conversation with other people than doing something solo.
I don't think people are too big to play games. I think people should play. I think if you want to play video games, then okay, that's fine. I still play video games. I still play video games to this day. Hey, I still got my Switch.
Yeah, of course. I mean, basically, I got one myself, and I think we got the same color.
Really? I like color because, well, it kind of reminds me of my birthstone. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of my birthstone aquamarine. So yeah, that's
hey, we
why
got
I
the same
it.
color. Yeah.
See?
Besides,
but yeah, that's why I love my Switch though. I mean, I got it as a Christmas gift from my good friend. Yeah, he got it for me for Christmas. Love it.
Yeah, I kind of had to use my money to actually get it, but since I actually had enough, I decided to to get a Switch Lite, and also if you're actually interested, why don't we actually swap Switch contacts like Nintendo accounts sometime. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. Geek Hero is back. I'm gonna let him on. All right.
Yep, I'm back, guys.
Yeah, good to actually have you back, man.
All right. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and talk about whatever you're talking about. I am gonna mute my mic for a moment. My dog gets loud when he wakes up.
All right. Well, I'm actually with my mom's dog right now, and he's actually being a good boy and just laying here on my bed. But anyway, like I was saying, I was just actually dealing with issues, and it's just ridiculousness. How people always actually treat, certain issues of how people are actually being perceived as istophobes. Especially people saying that people here in the anime community are pedophiles when it's not true. Or they actually have to police certain people over issues like doing anime art. I mean, look at Sakimi-chan, for instance, and how much backlash she was getting for actually, making her artwork and taking the time and effort of putting her effort and her skills into making certain pieces of art for us. And I really support her. But it's just ridiculous how people always actually have to perceive that we, the anime fans, are what's wrong with society. But it just really rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, that's just my personal thoughts on it. And
well, no, you're very right. And the thing is that every time they decide that, say the character in the anime is, supposedly 14. Well, they know that she wasn't drawn like a 14-year-old girl. But even at that, I remember when I was 14, and even if they didn't really look like that, that's how we saw them at the age of 14. I know that that's wrong, but it's true. And the thing is that at this point, it's a witch hunt. They're looking for any excuse they can to cancel anybody they can. It's not enough. Yeah, that's the thing. When they cancel somebody, they don't just go after their job. They go after these actors, they go after these, celebrities and politicians. They don't want them to so much as be able to hold a job at the McDonald's. They want to completely ruin and destroy any hope they have of being anything but a beggar under a bridge. And that's what they consider justice.
basically,
And so yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that I was just going to embellish a little bit more, that they have decided that because they feel like what they're doing is in the right, that nobody else can possibly have any shred of decency besides them. They have created their own moral high ground, and then they want to be, they want to turn around and play victim as soon as it turns on them. As soon as the next group comes along, takes a step further and then comes at them, the same way they came at us.
Exactly. Basically, it's the circle of blame. They're just passing their insecurity onto us, and thus they actually call us like istophobes and stuff like that, pushing their insecurities onto us, making us look like the bad guys. So whenever we actually push it back on them, they actually pretend to be the victims.
Well, it's not even us pushing it back on them. When they start eating each other, They can't understand why all the same tactics they pushed us into before we knew that an apology was just an admission of guilt, before we knew that that any admission of guilt meant that we were never going to see redemption ever again in their public worldview. That's the thing. When they finally decided that those were the terms, then they want to turn around when when the monster they created comes for them, and they want to be upset because suddenly they've apologized for something that they didn't do. Even see, that's what gets me. You take people like Joss Whedon, for instance. He is, I mean, yeah, he's a hard boss, but everything that he has said and done, I have worked for bosses like that, and I would not ever. I have no problem leaving them alone. I just don't want to work for them anymore. These people, the people that got paid millions of dollars want to turn around and clout chase and throw him under the bus. But, when it wasn't him under the microscope, when they decided that, all the men that got accused of things, that he jumped on the wagon train and he decided to go after, because that was where the clout was at the time. Now he's upset because they're coming after him. I mean, and that's the thing. James Gunn dodged one hell of a bullet. But the thing is that I have seen him online go after people the same way they went after him. The only reason why he made it out alive was because at the time Disney both Disney and AT&T, who owns Warner Brothers, they both feel like they need him still. And we can already see the blood in the water. We know that the Disney train that ate Gina Carano, the Disney monster, it's coming after Chris Pratt and Rosario Dawson next. And that's the biggest problem, is that when it hits, there is no such thing as coming back from it. Johnny Depp had proof that he was the victim, but and hell, even most leftists agree that he was the victim. They're not happy to see Amber Heard get all the clout that she's getting from this, and all the promotions and all the new movie deals. They're even upset about it. But the problem is that these companies, they know what happens if you apologize. They know that if they admit they're guilty, then they're up the creek. So the only way we can truly show them that they cannot just cancel our people and then all of a sudden turn around and decide everything's okay, after they've just ruined somebody's life, is if we stop giving them our money. That's way easier said than done, especially as new content starts to come out and we actually have new content. But the thing is that we have to draw a line somewhere, and we have to maintain that line.
Exactly. It's like what I was saying earlier about Black City's tweet about gatekeeping. Basically, I'm actually all for it personally, but people are actually just taking his tweet out of context, thinking that basically he's actually made a hot take. I really respect Black Sage and all of his work and his stance on certain issues. But here's the thing. People don't understand what he is trying to say. We're tired of people, pushing, journalistic ideas that anime fans are sexist, they're misogynists, they're racists, they're homophobes.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. He all he meant by that was that he listed those 14, and those are 14 out of the top 20 in 2019 through and 2020. Those 14 that he listed are literally 14 out of the top 20 most popular anime in any corner of the world. And all he's saying is that if that is the extent of your knowledge. If that is, what you feel makes you, a hardcore anime fan, then you need to get into some more anime. You need to dig a little deeper, but I will admit he worded it in a rather inflammatory way. He does not mince words, and he's very good at getting people riled up. I admire that about him. But the thing is that they wouldn't listen to you or me, any easier. The two of us can say it as diplomatically as I just said it, and they'll still turn around and act like we're gatekeeping. And it's a gatekeeping of sorts. We're not against people enjoying the same things that we enjoy. But when they walk into a fandom, I've said this on Night streams before. I've said it on Omega's stream, once. I think I've been on one of his. But the thing is that at the end of the day, when, what we're considering gatekeeping is not letting them have a say or a control. If they walk in and they think, all right, I love this, but the one thing I don't love is the fans of it. Well, fine, go enjoy it with a group of fans. Go put together a little group of fans that you do enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it with. But instead, they want to cry wolf. They want to go to the media. They want to shout it from the mountaintops that the main fandom rejects their ideas and the way that they enjoy it, and so that they feel oppressed and we're the bad guys. And of course they speak in such definitive terms. Love, I still ain't found your keys. But they speak in such definitive terms, and if we so much as defend ourselves, we don't even have to come at them. We don't even have to be hateful to them. If we so much as defend ourselves, we're racist, we're bigots, we're whatever. Yeah, the whole istophobe song, and dance. But that's the problem. They have rendered these words that used to actually have meaning. They've rendered them all but void. And the problem is that when words are rendered such, they tend, new words tend to pop up in their place, and when that happens, other regimes are formed, things things of that nature, and it becomes, it's kind of like Gina Carano when she's talking about the progression. It didn't get like that towards that community overnight. There was a progression to it. There were, at first it started out as, oh, that's just them, joking. Then it became mocking. Then eventually it became okay to beat them in the streets.
Exactly. And also, Alex Kogan actually brings up another good point. Gatekeeping should be more compared to bouncing. Have fun, just don't break our toys. That's all we ever ask for. Basically,
that's right.
Nobody cares about your politics, and nobody actually cares about what you want to push into certain agendas. Basically, just leave your politics, leave your woke points, racism or anything like that. Leave that to school, okay? We don't want
Well, and that brings me to another point. When they go on and on about comics or anime or any of that, they're like, well, it's always political. Oh, there is a difference. There is a difference between using, a political structure. Like, for instance, it's very, very popular to compare, to compare totalitarianism regimes to Nazis or communism, that kind of thing, and then what happens is, they're like, well, that's political. That's, no, it's really not. It's, this is black and white. This is right versus wrong. These are things that we as humans know to be wrong. But the thing is you don't see. When have you ever seen in comic books or anime or anything else? Okay. But when have you ever seen wars started because somebody called somebody by the wrong pronoun? You know, it's and if they ever wanted to write something like that, even the SJWs would get upset. We saw what happens when they overplay their hand. That whole thing with the new warriors and you know uh, um, Marvel and all their and the new Children of the Atom series. Even the leftists freak out over that because they start feeling like it's a parody on them, like they're being made fun of. That's what happens.
Sorry I'm late. I was in the middle of Minecraft, and when I finally exited and came to check my things on Twitter, I noticed it had been 46 minutes.
Um,
Also, I like to needle the SJWs. So when they call me a guy, I'm like, "How dare you? I am a woman." Basically throw it back in their face and watch them squirm.
oh, oh god, that is so good. But basically, it's good to actually have you on. Basically, like I was saying earlier, I usually don't do solo like live streams because basically I just don't really have many topics, and if I just wanted to do something solo, I'd actually do a video. And basically, I was actually dealing with Sad Fat Betty, like talking about him, of course, aka the Western Killer.
Has he gotten upset at being dubbed Sad Fat Betty yet?
No, apparently not, because apparently he actually had to go and just poke fun at my face, saying that I was actually taking Otaku Daikun's message that I was actually following up to about being called an incel, a virgin, a neckbeard, and all that stuff. It's just ridiculous.
So basically, every guy who's an anime fan that has a beard is apparently a neckbeard now.
Yeah. Basically, this is kind of like, my this is my style, okay? And I like wearing anime shirts, I like wearing anime hats because basically it's my style.
I know a couple bikers that like anime. I'd like to see someone like Sad Fat Betty go up to them and call them a neckbeard and not get their ass kicked.
Oh yeah, basically I would pay freaking good money just to actually see that.
And I shouldn't find this hilarious, but it's like, yeah, I'd like to see you go up to the biggest, burliest biker with the longest beard and call him a neckbeard for liking anime. You'd be lucky
Well,
to still be walking.
Well, and this has nothing to do with the 45th president of the United States, except for it took place during his rally in Tulsa last year, which is where I'm from. And down, all of our biker bars down Brookside, we had a bunch of, we had a bunch of them there. We had a bunch of them there, and we had, we had a lot of protesters there too, and the bikers, you can pretty much tell whose side they're on, and most of them had MAGA stuff all over their cars, all over their shirts and their helmets and their bikes and everything. Well, one of them had a banner hanging off of the back end of his bike.
Oh, no one
Well,
touched the bike, did they?
Well, okay, so
suicide
no,
when it comes to bikers.
so what happened was, and it was a video on YouTube before it got took down. What happened was these little college age kids start yelling out the window at the bikers, calling them all sorts of names and everything, and the biker gets real close to him while they're at a stoplight, and he does like he looks at him. He grabs the kid's sign out of his hand through the window, throws it on the ground, grabs the kid's drink out of his hand, and throws it across the car inside the car, and then drove off. And those kids didn't even go when the light turned green. They're sitting there shaking. It was hilarious.
Oh,
and the car behind him was taking the video. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Okay, Okay, that's different than what I thought. Because the minute you said he had a banner on his bike, I'm like, some idiot didn't touch the bike. You might as well shoot yourself in the head because that's practically suicide to touch a biker's bike.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I don't know anybody that's been that stupid yet.
yeah. Trust me, I gotta learn to actually respect bikers. I mean, trust me, anybody with a brainstem could actually tell you always respect a biker and his bike.
My uncle Chuck has several motorcycles.
Ooh, that's pretty interesting.
And because one of his nicknames is Chucky, he actually has Chucky from Child's Play on the on the back of one of his bikes.
Ah, that's pretty cool. But
But yeah, no. I have seen what happens to. I was a teenager, and my mom, she's a nurse, and she's a hospice nurse, which means she goes and takes care of dying patients in their homes and everything. And the son of one of her patients, he is a member of the Mongols. They are these guys have had a war with the Hell's Angels back in the day. These guys are not people you mess with, and he's one of those, a one percenter, as it were. These guys are the hardcore, the ones that won't hesitate to rip your gizzard out. Anyway, one of their like I said, I was a teenager at the time, so this had to be like 2008. Like, anyway, this guy got really mad there. I was a volunteer at the time, so when my mom went out at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was legally allowed to go with her because HIPAA regulations and all of that, and it was a rough part of town. So I get over there, and we pull up. Mom pulls up in her car, I'm in the passenger seat, and we literally pull up just in time to see three people running as this guy, this biker, is choking this guy twice his size on the ground. Like, he is choking him out on the ground. And yeah, no, that there are just people in this world that it's better not to mess with. Even if you win, you didn't really win anything, because you're going to feel it for the rest of your life.
exactly. That's why you need to learn to actually respect people, especially bikers.
Well, but see that's the thing, though. That's the thing. We're meaner than these people. Like, we're not like biker mean, but we're meaner than these people that are coming after us. But we've been too nice. They think they can get away with this. We need to make it to where they understand that fighting with us, that tangling with us, even if they win, they're going to feel us in their nightmares for the rest of their lives. We need to make them understand that there will be no place they can rest. There will always be somebody to take our place. That we will never stop pursuing them. If they come after us, if they come after, we don't go after celebrities that, believe, that have their beliefs. God knows they've got way more than we do.
What happened to Gina was a damn travesty.
And if this were new, if this had just happened to Gina, that'd be one thing. But look at the lesser known TV stars for a little bit. Look at guys like Kevin Sorbo and Dean Cain that were both big in the 80s and 90s. Look at Kirstie Alley. She is a liberal. She is very liberal. But the moment she didn't bow down to them, suddenly this woman, people have been watching her since Cheers. And all of a sudden, she said stuff they didn't like, and they're trying to shush her. They're trying to shove her off into the background and make sure she never sees the light of day again. I shared an article on Twitter where what's her name, Melissa Benoist or whatever, from Supergirl. She's talking about how wonderful it is that the new Supergirl is going to be Hispanic, whatever. I shared it. I put it on there. I said, because if she had any other opinion publicly, she would never see the light of day again. They would make sure that her star fell. They would make sure that she did not get, forget cameos and everything, forget keeping her show going. They would make sure to bury her politically and socially. Because Gina, she didn't just get fired from Disney. Her talent agent dropped her. And they held on to this for months. They made all of us think there was a chance they might actually be cool and not be stupid. And then most of us knew it was coming, but that's not the point. The point is that they waited until they thought the time was right. And when they decided to cut her loose, look what happened to Johnny Depp. Look what happened to Vic Mignogna, Hartley Sawyer. These guys, everybody knew that Hartley Sawyer's tweets were on Twitter, that people knew that those were there for years, long before he was famous. And yet, the time was finally right. They wanted a sacrificial lamb, and then they cut him loose, and then they turn around, and you've got people like Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell, who nobody had any reason not to like. If you liked those shows, you liked the stars. And the thing is now all of a sudden you've got them saying, well, this was the right decision. This is, this was in the current political climate, this was how it should have been,
Okay.
And
okay, I have a question then. If we shouldn't be bringing politics into things, why the fuck did the reboot of Animaniacs have an ex-kid of Trump as the Cyclops for Homer's Odyssey?
Or all of the joke they made about Johnny Depp. That's the thing. It went. There's a pendulum that swings back and forth. One side will say, well, we shouldn't make this about politics, until suddenly they're the side in control. And once they feel like they're in control, then everything's about politics. And the other side is saying, well, we shouldn't make this about politics. There should be an understanding, because this is the way it is, that if, sorry if there's wind in the background, I'm tightening the terminal, my battery terminal in my car. But anyway, when they decide to when they decide to come after us, and they decide to go after certain celebrities and everything, when they decided that straight white male fans are the reason why nobody else can get ahead in any medium, and so they've got to shoo us out, replace us, become inclusive.
Yeah, Hollywood doesn't realize that they're dying because they're catering to people who would never buy their shit. Meanwhile,
well, the problem is
they would buy. Someone me who would buy something is like, yeah, I don't want anything linking me to this. I mean, my father, bless his soul, he got me a Rey doll because I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't really like Rey.
Well, but your father didn't mean anything by it. All he knows is that it's got a Star Wars logo on it, and she's a girl in Star Wars. He's he watches the news or whatever, and he's like, okay, well, this is cool, and then he gets that for you. Whereas, like, for instance, my mom, back in the day, and I'm going to brag on my mom for a minute, because back in the day, when my mom was just a teenager, when she was just a teen, she read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings back when the only people that knew what it was were in the field of literature. She was a Star Trek fangirl. She was an original Trekker. To her, Trekkie is a slur. And the thing is that we're talking about the same woman that beat the original Legend of Zelda while she was pregnant with me. I'm 29 years old. Yeah, I'm 29 years old. And she, we're talking about the same woman that when I was growing up, I was 7 years old the year I got my Game Boy Color for Christmas. And she jacked my Game Boy Color. I just opened it up, Santa Claus, I'm all excited. And she takes the Game Boy, pops in Pokemon Yellow, and beats it before she'll let me have my Game Boy back.
Wow.
And I'm not, well, she wasn't, yeah, I was a little mean, but it was funny. She had let me play the other games that I had, but she was afraid I'd mess up her save file. So she's like, well, after I'm done playing it, you can have it. Yeah. But that, I mean, and they got me a Super Nintendo game too. So I was busy playing that. So it wasn't like I missed it too bad, but you know, when you get a brand new game console, even a handheld one, you know, you're 7 years old, you're going to be so excited. And then all of a sudden your mom's like, no, I need to finish this.
You have the
But I
coolest
mean,
mom ever.
oh, you
I
have
don't
no
even
idea.
understand why I liked anime.
Well, okay, and see, my mom does not like anime, but she has never once stopped me, my sister, and my brother, who's actually 8 years younger than my sister. Me and my sister are a year apart, and our little brother is 8 years younger than my sister. So I'm the oldest, you know, and anyway, so you know, he was always. I was actually growing up at confession time. I was actually embarrassed about liking anime. You know, the growing up in the church and everything, you start to feel like, you know, there was a stigma on it, you know, with comic books and anime, like even Western comic books, there was a stigma there that if you were into that stuff, you'd become some sort of sexual deviant. You know, and unfortunately, for the most part, they were kind of right, but that's not the point. The point is that society's a lot more accepting now than they were, you know, 20 years ago. And the thing is but then again, we got the leftists that want to act like it's still 1959. So, you know, but you know, moving along.
Basically, let's ban Tales from the Crypt because it might warp the children. Because that's what happened in comic books.
Yeah.
They got rid of the horror comics for a while because, oh heavens to Betsy, let's not wonder if maybe little Billy has a mental problem and can't tell fiction from reality. No, clearly the comics basically influenced the children to do this. And it's like, I watched horror and read horror since I was like around 8 years old. I pretty much more or less turned out fine.
And that's the thing. Growing up in the church, even my mom had certain rules. She's like, we're gonna go see these movies, you know, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter. She said, but you ain't gonna talk about them at church. You know, she said, you know, if any of them come back and start asking me weird questions, I ain't taking you the next time. She didn't say she wasn't going to go. She said she wouldn't take us. So we, you know, me and my sister learned to keep our mouths shut, you know, because she's a believer, but she's not anal about it. You know, the thing is that we were taught growing up, my sister and myself, my brother, you know, we were taught growing up that the most important thing for development was an imagination. You know, and go ahead.
Alex Kogan, explain the sexual deviant parts.
Okay, all right. So you have to understand something. My mom was relatively older. They had given up on having kids by the time I came along, and then my sister came along a year later, and then my brother 8 years later. Not one of my father and mother's children wasn't a surprise. You know, well, anyway, so by the time I was in middle school, most of mom and dad's friends, their kids were already graduating college, not starting college, graduating college. And so mom is, I'm not going to say her age on here, but the point is that, you know, 'cause she'll find out. She will find out somehow. Anyway, the point is that the point is that at the end of the day, she you know, she was a little bit older than all the other parents, and she had been through a stage where she thought absolutely everything was going to corrupt us and everything. But if you think about it, you know, my grandma and grandpa were from the World War II era. They were raised in the Great Depression. They, you know, my grandfather and 3 of his brothers all came back from World War II. You know, these guys, you know, he had 2 younger brothers that, you know, one got enlisted but never had to go over, and the other one was too young. But the thing is is that, we've got, yeah, in our family, what Mimo and Papa thought of as cartoons were the Looney Tunes or Hanna Barbera, and then next thing we're watching Digimon and Pokemon and Tenchi Muyo and stuff like that. Well, and even the American cartoons like Gargoyles and stuff, and you
Oh, I
see,
loved
yeah,
gargoyles.
me too. But
Yeah,
but anyway, but yeah, but what happens is they see these cartoons, and these cartoons are much more anatomically correct. These are drawn like real people, and they're not wearing very much by someone who grew up in the Great Depression standards, like, yeah, especially an old religious woman like my grandmother. And the thing is that they're, what I mean by that they were right is that, we have as a society grown to explore our, sexuality a lot more than what they were used to. But the thing is that, I was just joking. That was just a joke on that part. But, they were afraid the stigma there was that, you get into, this stuff. I mean, and let's be honest. If you look at a depiction of Wonder Woman from the 1950s or the 60s or the 70s, and then look at a depiction of Wonder Woman in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, it is a very striking difference between
Oh yeah, didn't she have a
yeah,
skirt at the beginning?
yeah, well, and or skorts or whatever, but the point is that they're, it goes from being a little risque to, to somebody who, was born in the 1920s, like my grandfather. He's looking at this, and that's all but pornography. And I mean, not quite, because they're not, but you know what I'm saying, like that's it's a little, it's a little crazier to them, and it was a bit of a culture shock. But, Mom, there was not anything, my sister and I would come home from school. We had just got cable, and Meemaw was really against us getting cable at the house. Well, my whole family, we grew up on the same 10 acres. We had 10 acres with 5 houses, and we lived about 3 miles outside of Tulsa city limits. And so we were on the edge of the boonies and the city limits where, and it was the hood. Like, we were on the edge of the hood in the back country where nobody could hear you scream and you smell the meth cooking every Tuesday. Like, it was that's where I grew up. And the thing is that, when we started getting cable, and my uncle got internet at his house and everything, so we started getting exposed to more of that, more regularly. We found Toonami on Cartoon Network, and Encore used to show, they used to show their anime hour, and G4 TV, Tech TV at the time, they used to show. They had Anime Unleashed. Sci-Fi used to have an anime hour. The thing is we had to work to see it, but if we wanted to see it, we could see it. If we wanted to, Spike TV for a while would show an anime movie here and there. And what made it even better was that you had Pokemon on before school, and then you come home and you could see the episode. If you missed it, you could see it after school. I miss Saturday and after school cartoons. Like, I feel that that's the one thing that kids being able to watch cartoons any time. I feel like they don't understand. We had to work to see what we wanted to see, and
Yeah.
and if they knew, and that's the thing. How old is everybody? Like I said, I'm 29. How old is everybody else here?
I'm gonna be 32 in April.
Okay, and
I'm to now. In fact, my birthday was on
okay.
the 16th.
Yeah, okay, so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. We are at that age, late 80s, early 90s. I was born in 91. And the thing is, we're at that age where all the 80s kids look down on us, like the core peak 80s kids look down on us because they're like, or not really look down on us, but they look at us with sympathy. They're like, well, y'all didn't really get the best of it. See, and I disagree. I feel like
Oh,
we got the
screw
best of
them.
theirs.
Darkwing Duck was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, well, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like we got the best of both worlds. We got to see TMNT after it picked up. We got to see Gargoyles. We got to see, all of that stuff. That they were already off getting jobs and stuff by the time, things really kicked up for us. We got to experience the early 2000s where absolutely everything had either a hip hop or a super rock beat in the background, and
Oh God, the rap songs. You're giving me
yeah,
flashbacks
well,
to Four Shames One Piece.
okay, first of all, the hear me out. And you and I, this might determine whether how you view me as a human being moving forward. Their editing of the show itself was crap, but their opening theme was better than anything Japan has put out for that opening theme.
Blasphemer!
Okay, and I get that. I understand that. But to me, that's got the American flair that we needed. Like back in the day, the marketers decided, Nintendo of America, they talked to Enix, and they tell them, they're like, okay, so y'all call this Dragon Quest, but in America it needs to be more, it has to have more of a macho masculine flair. If you want young boys to, to play this game, you need to change its name. We'll call it Dragon Warrior. And so I tend to think more along those lines because that's how, that's how my ideas were formed. To me, I don't see any reason why one cannot use a hammer to fix 90% of their problems. And and I know in reality that's not true. It's easy, and we would like to believe it's okay, but there are use for other tools. To me, I loved the opening to the Four Kids One Piece. Like, if they, to me, the perfect One Piece would be to have voice actors that aren't nuts, portray it exactly the way the Japanese intended, but keep the Four Kids song opening. That would be my ideal way to view One Piece. I understand how people might not think that's great, but so some of y'all might disagree with me. But like I said, we can, our side seems to be able to disagree and not kill each other.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, cancel each other.
Hang on. He says there's a reason the music for the U.S. version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Still sucks with people.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
It fits the tone. I'm sorry if I'm actually messing up your reading there, Alex. It's just that I'm a little tongue-tied at this, and we're just actually so deep into our conversation here, and basically, I just actually wanted to actually share that with you guys, and basically, I know what you're talking about, Geek Hero Bubba. I actually used to grow up on like Tech TV, on Toonami, on Sci-Fi.
Well, I mean, and in my defense, I still think Scorpion King and Van Helsing are good movies. So, I understand how one might argue that those did not age well, but, I don't think there's a such thing as not aging well. I think that if you understand it in the context of the time it was made, I never had a problem with episode 1. I never had a problem with episode 2. And so, I to this day, I still think that the 90s or 80s and 90s Ninja Turtle movies are great. I understand where some people...
Mr. Anime, I'm about to send you something on Twitter. Please check it out.
All right, I'll check it out as soon as we're done with the stream, all right?
Oh, I wanted you to tell me your opinion now.
She wants to get your live reaction.
Okay, well, basically, just send it over. We'll actually take a look at it while we actually have the stream going. So I'll just actually.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you actually send it. All right.
Okay, I sent it just
Okay.
now.
Okay. Let me
But
just,
yeah, yeah.
hang on a second,
Oh,
guys.
go
I
ahead.
got to pull up Twitter here. Whoops. Okay. I can still hear you guys. Basically, hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, Humans versus Cats comics. Hold on. I'm actually pulling up the link right now, and hold on. Whoops. Oh boy. You guys still there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yep, I'm
pulling up
here.
the link right now, and okay. Okay. I gotta see this. I gotta see this. Okay. The undefeated world of anime licensing for kids with help from the Foxbot the robot. Rewind
Oh
now, please.
no! I've read this article. Oh no!
First year, first you replace all the orchestral music with rap and hip hop. Then select only the most inappropriate voices for each of your country. You will be needing these for years. Next, you'll drastically that replace wedding script lines, plot points, and character traits. Organs. Oh god. Then will make all these elements and dress them up in interest of being kid friendly. Oh god. Puts a little freaking dress on them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but let's be perfectly honest. Like some of the and it wasn't just anime. Western cartoons got hit really hard too. There were things like, for instance, after Gargoyles hit so much controversy, there was a season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where they replaced a bunch of kids were knocking themselves out with nunchucks, and the show was considered violent anyway. So they replaced Michelangelo's nunchucks with a grappling hook,
This is a
and we
case of where
literally.
the fuck were the parents to tell their kids not to do this shit?
Well, and see that's exactly true. That's
It says now your show is ready for air. Purchase rights to the next popular show and repeat. I'm looking at you, Naruto. Amy just why are they doing this? Just why? I can't.
That's basically what happens with censorship. A lot of stuff gets gutted when people assume, oh, this must be for kids because it's animated, and then they see it, they're like, oh god,
well,
we'll get sued
well,
if we show this
and
shit.
well, and that's the thing. Each show dealt with it in a different way. The thing is that another stigma that we still have not beaten in the United States is that cartoons, comic books, anime, all that stuff is for children. You know that's the way the leftists view it. Now
Oh
now
yeah.
but hear me out. Hear me out. That's old leftists. New leftists are their children, but they're our age, and so they're they refuse to grow up, but at the same token, they want to speak down to us like we're the ones not growing up. I pay all my bills before I go out and buy my manga. Thank you. But the point is, is that different studios had different ways of handling it. All of the '90s Marvel shows, suddenly all of their technology became space age. If somebody was pointing a gun, they were shooting a laser out of it or whatever, and or if it was a regular gun, it never got a chance to go off in the direction of a human being.
Oh yeah.
Batman had some, yeah.
They actually edited the scene where Broadway accidentally shot Elisa because it was showing him shooting a gun, and I'm like, personally, in my opinion, this kind of teaches kids don't mess with a loaded gun. This
Well,
shit could happen.
exactly. But let's face it, Stan Lee faced the same kind of problem after McCarthyism and the Red Scare and all of that. Comic books, you have to understand, when the music industry got hit, I call it the three P's. When the parents, the preachers, and the politicians come after something, you guys remember this. Kids don't understand this now, but back in the day, because it's different people coming after them, it's the same effect. But you notice you don't hear a whole lot from the preachers unless you look for it. You still hear from the parents and the politicians, but they're saying different stuff. But back in the day, I don't know. I mean, y'all remember the way it was with Harry Potter, the way it was with Pokemon. You know,
My My dad, who was born in 48, was able to, as well as my uncle Clay, was able to witness Dungeons and Dragons and the Satanic Panic.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Anybody older than us that remembers the scare with Dungeons and Dragons, that understands, what they had to go through. But Star Wars faced it too. People don't realize that Star Wars was considered to be the great evil for a while. They, entire, televangelist Christian-based organizations would for a modest donation ask ask you to donate to them, and they'd send you a VHS tape telling you why everything you love is evil. And like I said, my family, I remember a couple times my family buying those, my mom looking it over saying, yeah, that magic ain't, that this kind of, magic don't just work like that, right? And she didn't say it wasn't real, because our religious views teach us that there are certain powers that be that can get you, but we're not supposed to we're not supposed to deal with that stuff. But I was also taught that in life you're going to have to deal with people. I've got friends who are Wiccan. I've got friends who are atheists. I've got friends who are all across the Buddhists. I got a cousin who's a Buddhist, but I've got friends all across, and family all across the sexuality spectrum. The thing is that my upbringing was not as rigid. People, you talk about faith, and people, you can hear their eyes roll before they even groan. Nobody, everybody looks at it like they're like, oh, here comes the Bible thumpers. The thing is
Well,
is
the
that
Westboro Baptist Church didn't exactly help Christianity.
Also,
no.
Point. Some versions of Yu-Gi-Oh cards snuck by unaltered, but several were altered due to satanic imagery.
Yeah. Well, and see that's another thing. Like there were things I wasn't allowed to watch or play with when I was younger, that as I got older and mom knew that I wasn't gonna go out and sacrifice a goat in the middle of the night, sneak out with my friends and drink goat blood, she began to understand. And see, my mom had a rule growing up too. She's like, rated R violence didn't bother her. Rated R sex did. She's like, you getting, y'all are getting to be teenagers, and I ain't so worried about you going out and killing people. I'm more worried about you going out and hiding around and having sex, And so the thing is that my upbringing was strict in certain ways. There were things we knew were no go, but for the most part, if we told mom where we were going, what we were doing, she trusted us to be able to handle ourselves and to know when it's time to back down, time to get out of a situation. And, a lot can be said for a woman that, raised high school graduates that are not in prison, not, not addicted to drugs, not, that we pay our bills. And, my sister, she's got a kid and everything. The thing is that our upbringing was pretty good. And it also helps that mom was a nurse. So I'll tell you, trying to convince a nurse that you're sick isn't enough. You can honestly be sick, and she'll patch you up and say, all right, you can go to school now.
Wow.
But she's like, go to school and don't cough on anybody. So don't share anything with anybody, But anyway, the cool thing is though, is that at the end of the day, and I hadn't finished bragging about my mom. We're gonna have to circle back to that later. But at the end of the day, like I said, the way, getting back on the animation editing and everything, the different studios edited things differently. I mean, 4Kids decided to cut entire episodes out, make weird off the wall look. I mean, I'm telling you, some of the weapons they were wielding in One Piece looked like something Dr. Seuss would like, smoke a pipe and decide to doodle, while he's half asleep, nursing a bottle of bourbon. But the thing is, yeah, the thing is that when it was all said and done, we cannot pretend that at that time, at that age, before we knew what we were missing, that they didn't give us something that we needed. It sucks to find out that, the stuff you brought up with was tainted, but they had certain legal obligations that they felt they had to meet because the government had to get in the way, because political correctness had to get in the way. The thing is,
the problem is I was put off One Piece for like 7 or 8 years because of Forshane's version, and I had a friend on fanfiction.net tell me, don't watch the hacked together English dub. Read the manga. I started reading the manga. I'm like, I hate this, and I hate this version of One Piece even more now because
yeah.
I missed out on some great material.
Well, see, and exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And I tell people this all the time. My problem with watching subtitled anime is that when you watch a subtitled anime and you don't actually know the language they're speaking, you don't know Japanese, or it doesn't matter. If you're watching a Bollywood film and you don't know, you don't really know how good in an animation. Now, it's different when it's physical acting, but in an animation, you don't know how good, you can't gauge how good or bad a voice actor is. So, let's take Christopher Sabat, for instance. That man is not my favorite person in this world. At the end of the day, I still believe that him and Vic were both the two most popular voice actors with Funimation, and then all of a sudden, Christopher Sabat sees an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon and join the diatribe against Vic, and all of a sudden, everything is turned against Vic, because he knew that if anybody was going to dethrone him, it was going to be Vic Mignogna. And take that how you will. At the end of the day, Christopher Sabat, nobody can pretend that he is not an excellent voice actor. Nobody can pretend that man is not a master at his craft. When I hear his voice, and he has 3 primary voices that he switches to, and he has I've counted 3 primary voices that range from Vegeta to Piccolo, to All Might, but he has.
I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw someone at the beginning of what happened with Vic draw All Might punting Christopher Sabat into the ocean.
Well, and that's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but you watch, like for instance, the dub of My Hero Academia. You watch that, and my favorite examples. Sorry, I got one of my neighbors has guests. I'm still standing outside because it actually feels good today. But
I'll be right back. I gotta go do some stuff real quick.
Okay. But all I was saying was that one of my favorite examples is episode 46 during the showdown. And for those watching at home that haven't seen it, I'm not going to say with whom. I'm not going to say, but his voice in that, like everything, you feel his emotion with every word. It is absolutely beautiful the way he pieces it together. The critical feeling you get as each punch is being thrown, as you can feel the character's conviction. But the thing we have to remember is that these people are not the characters they portray. They're good at the characters they portray, but they are not them. And another one, it was during the final exams episode where he was where All Might was testing Bakugo and Midoriya. That episode was absolutely fantastic. Getting to see this hero that everybody looks up to play the villain, and the way Christopher Sabat does that a lot. Like I said, I enjoy his voice acting, but it gets hard. It gets hard because you you hear how good they are at what they do, and you love the work that they put out. But
But
once you
they're
know a
complete
little
and utter
more,
garbage people.
and see, that's the problem. That's the biggest problem with it, is that at the end of the day, it's hard. It's hard to enjoy it as much as you used to. And so anyway, I got to reading the manga. My job, they finally, they wouldn't let me take a vacation because how swamped we've been with the COVID, and then I work security. So I work security at a toilet paper factory, so they'll chain me to the wall before they'll lay me off. But anyway,
What,
yeah.
people will
So
steal toilet paper?
you you have no idea that, especially when things got bad last year, they were rationing their employees. They were not letting their employees buy it like off the rack anymore. Like, and yeah, I mean, there were people that make the toilet paper for a living that did not have toilet paper at home. That's how bad it got. But anyway, moving along. Um, so that's the thing. With my vacation money, they let me cash out my vacation, and with my vacation money, I was able to order volumes 1 through 26 of My Hero Academia, and
Damn.
yes, I have them all. I got them all at Barnes and Noble. It was actually cheaper to get them through the store than it was to buy them directly off of eBay or Amazon or any of those. So because of the deals I've gotten, because I'm a member with them, and other things I was able
Well,
to take
couldn't you
advantage of. And the
use
thing,
the Barnes and Noble website then?
well, okay, so I like to actually go to my stores in Tulsa, because if you buy from the website only gets credit. I like to buy through my stores because I want them, when their corporate looks at the numbers, I like them to have a reason to keep my stores open. So I I can still, like, if they don't have it in the store, I can still order it online through the store, and they still get credit for the sale. And so I'll go there and I'll talk to whoever's at customer service. I'll get them to write out the order, and then they'll give me a receipt with a shipping confirmation and everything. They'll give me a receipt. It's attached to my account. I'll take it up to the front. I pay for it there, and then it arrives in the mail a week to 2 weeks later. I actually have all of that have released so far, because issue 20 or volume 27 comes out next month, and volume 9 of Vigilantes, of My Hero Vigilantes, comes out this at the end of March. But so also next month.
Quick question. Do
Yeah,
you know how if you open a manga like a regular book, it'll say, "Hey, this is done for you
yeah.
by
Read this from the other side. Yeah.
Well, I actually have a couple volumes of a compilation of Mega Tokyo, and I actually started like a manga, and they have their own thing that says, stop, this is made by an American. Read it like a normal book."
Oh no, that's awesome. That is absolutely hilarious.
Because Mega
I'm a
Tokyo is supposed. I've read the websites thing too, because
Yeah.
when I couldn't find the volumes of the compilations, it's like this is the only way I'm gonna, be able to continue the story and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I have volume 2. I don't have volume 1.
it's basically done in an anime style, like traditional manga. So this makes me giggle at the fact that he's basically aware that people would try to read it like a manga, so he has to put a thing saying, "Hey, this is a normal book. Read it the normal way."
Yeah, and that is great. All right, I'm gonna have to mute my mic for a minute. I
Okie
got a
dokie.
neighbor pulling up. They're trying to wave at me.
Okie dokie.
I'm back. But anyway, so basically what happens is with that, like for instance, every time you see an anime or a manga style, but it's an American cartoon or an American comic, it confuses a lot of older people. I love seeing it. They're like, well, does this count as anime? And I have to explain to them, no, not really.
It's
But
an
we
it depending on the country, it's take part of the country's name anime, like a Mary May.
yeah, which I refuse to acknowledge. That is to me one of the dumbest systems ever. But
Well, unfortunately, it's either anime or you have to make a conjunction of the country's name
well,
and
and
any.
I tell people that all the time. The thing is, you can make it completely perfectly like an anime. Make it to where people, the other countries couldn't even tell whether it was an actual anime or not. But what a lot of people don't know is that champagne, if it's not made in the Champagne region of France, it is not really champagne. It can be made exactly the same in the exact same type of climate. It can literally be the exact same substance, but if it was not originally made from Champagne, France, it is not considered champagne. And so that's always been a fun fact in my opinion. But bourbon, that's basically just whiskey, but it has to be made in that one particular part of, I think it's Kentucky. But the point is that if it's not from there, it's just whiskey. If it's not from Champagne, France, it's just bubbly. Like and so it's kind of cool if you think about it like that. And I,
Well,
I explain I explain anime like that.
well, I have a book called Dramacon Ultimate Edition, which is basically all three volumes of the series in one, and it's by a Canadian woman who I would really love to meet just to get my copy signed. And it's like a perfect slice of life thing, and it's done in an anime style. And I consider that, in my opinion, the the closest thing to manga being made outside of Japan. Oh, oh crap! 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 I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay, told to talk about what I was talking about. Well, anyway, I have this series called Dramacon Ultimate Edition, and it's a story about a girl who wants to write stories for mangas and stuff. stuff, and it's a slice of life thing. She ends up finding love and stuff, and aside from aside from it being made by a Canadian woman, it pretty much, in my opinion, falls in line with the whole whole slice of life thing you'd see in anime. So, and then there's another series that unfortunately had to be moved to a different publishing company because of Tokyo Pop going out of business. Binzenhast, if I'm remembering how to say it right, and that was a beautiful story too, despite being written by an American woman. But that was a beautiful story that I could see in Gothic Lolita and stuff in Japan. But the plot of Binzenhast is the main character, Diana, I think her name is, or Dinah. I know the author was big into Alice in Wonderland because you can also see a lot of influences to Wonderland in there. But she wrote this series and she did beautiful covers for her series that would, in my opinion, fit perfectly among horror mangas and stuff. And for anyone wondering, Geek Hero, while we are waiting for Mr. Anime to come back to let him back in, said Gothic Lolita is best Lolita. But like I said while it's not from Japan exactly, I have read a couple of series that have been good enough that could have easily been from Japan. If 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 the authors' names weren't on the series, you never would be able to tell the difference. Oh yeah, Geek Hero says his internet fizzled, but like I was saying, it's basically a thing of the art was done very well, the story was done well, that if their names hadn't been on the series, you'd think this was from Japan. It was that well drawn. Yes, and I hated what they did to Teen Titans with Go, and I hate the fact they're making Katara 16. You know how old she's gonna have to be before she can finally be with Aang? Sorry, Geek Hero pointed out Teen Titans and Avatar: The Last Airbender in an anime style. Well, I mean, I'm I'm not saying that Netflix doesn't deserve the bashing all the time. I admit I like B&A and I liked Hilda, but their animated originals such as She-Ra. I mean, I found a couple things quaint and cute in She-Ra, but aside from that, it was hard for me to get past the art style. I had to force myself just to give it a fair shot, and I hated it the whole time. Oh, don't even get me started on the live action adaptations. I'm still pissed about their version of Winx. Winx Club was basically one of the few shows from For Shame that I actually liked. Oh, hello, Matt Wheaton. Yeah, this is very weird for me. I'm basically having to give commentary and stuff just to keep everything going. I think I can now see why Mr. I think I can see why now Mr. Anime doesn't like doing these by himself. Oh, oh, I did love TMNT as well. Yeah, you say I'm doing great. Meanwhile, I'm internally screaming, ah! We're talking about a lot of stuff that gets a live action adaptation, and people don't seem to realize why people who would watch it don't like it. I mean, the announcement of a live action, darker, edgier Powerpuff Girls just hurts me because that was part of my childhood. I even still have a Buttercup doll. Granted, it was a gift from my school counselor, but it was still a gift that I cherish. I'll be sure to let my D&D group that I'm going to have a session with later know this. I'm just glad that it's a different campaign this week, because last week I tried to eat someone again because my character has recently been turned into a vampire. Oh yeah, basically the Powerpuff Girls live action thing is going to be them as adults resenting the fact that they were superheroes during their childhood. And it's like, did they watch the original show? Because in the original show, the girls loved fighting crime to a point that when their father, Professor Utonium's like, no, you have to go to bed so you're not falling asleep in class, they were miserable watching the town go up in flames. And it's like, you're missing the point. Oh hell no. The professor didn't push them into anything. In fact, there's an episode where he kind of wished they were normal little girls because he doesn't get to spend enough time with them. Basically, to a point, he makes a super suit, kind of like what Iron Man wears, if you think about it, just so he can fight crime with the girls, so he can spend time with them. Oh yeah, I agree, Alex. It's very dull and pointless.
Hang on,
All
I
in
got a couple of
respect,
guests.
please bring back Geek Hero Bubba. I've been having to do commentary and stuff, and I've
Sorry,
been.
guys.
It-
I just had to do some
Yeah.
stuff with my grandparents. So
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
about the Powerpuff
Don't let her
Girls.
fool you.
Yeah,
Oh, go
about
ahead.
the Powerpuff. Okay, you go ahead, Geek Hero.
Oh, all I was gonna say was don't let her fool you. She did a very good job and did not panic even once externally.
yeah, sorry if I had to leave you guys out of this, but basically, I just had to do some stuff for my grandparents, and I just actually really glad I got you guys to actually talk to. You know.
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, yeah. This is me right now, so you know.
The only problem with you going off is if someone gets yeeted for some reason. There's no way to bring them back in because we're not hosting the thing.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But
Anyway, yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Geek Hero. As far as the Powerpuff Girls being attractive, and I'm using the finger quotations here, I highly doubt it.
no,
Oh yeah, they're gonna look like the new Charmed girls, which.
no offense, but if it was the
I never even watched Charmed, and already I'm grossed the fuck out.
Yeah, see the original Charm Girls. Say what you will about Alyssa Milano's personality in real life. Yeah, they looked great back in the day, and now, Holly Marie Combs, the girl that played Piper, she is still freaking cute.
another problem I have with it being live action is
Yeah.
know that the girls are gonna have fingers when they were done in a chibi style in the cartoon, and that just throws me off.
They need to at least make a joke about that. They need to at least talk about how developed their hands are or something, and not make it perverted.
Yeah, exactly. And also, don't even get me started on Powerpuff Girls Z, but I haven't actually seen that one yet.
I'd much rather see Powerpuff Girls Z over live action Powerpuff Girls. Not gonna lie, dude.
Yeah. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Yeah, I shaved my head. So what? That's part of getting old.
Hey,
I am the opposite of bald.
I'm just lucky I still have a nice head of hair.
I'm sorry.
lucky you.
I recently saw the first SpongeBob movie again. The minute you removed your head, I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Well, we're all goofy goobers here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, jokes aside, though, like I said, I am the opposite of bald. I don't think I've shaved all week. All of a sudden, my coworkers, I work security, and my coworkers just decided to quit coming to work. I have been working 12s and 16s all freaking week. I've got 72 hours this week, and I am so tired, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I kind of had to make up for all that time I've actually had to help with my grandparents and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, but you've got a reason to be off. These people, never mind. I ain't gonna bash my coworkers on live on the internet.
Yeah, you
Hey, at
don't
least
want
you
that
still have a
getting
job, dude. I'm still waiting to get back to work.
Well, and that is very, very true. I do feel blessed to be able to work.
But something I was gonna say after I explained about the couple series I've read that despite they were done by people who weren't from Japan and stuff, if their names weren't on the books and stuff, you never be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and
but one thing
That's great, Alex.
Yeah, Alex actually says I look like Max Payne in the third game if I leave my beard on.
That's awesome, man.
Anyway,
Max Payne is such an awesome franchise, man.
I look like fat Thor dressed like Star-Lord, so you know.
I kind of look like
I
Etta
look like
Candy from the original.
I look like
Wonder
fat
Woman
Thor
comic.
with long hair.
Mm. Yes,
Well,
but we're
I'm
not
Etta
ashamed of
Candy.
ourselves.
Exactly.
I'm Etta Candy from the original Wonder Woman comic. And if you don't know who Etta Candy is, Google search.
If you don't know who Etta Candy is, you're not a that the gatekeeping moment. Channeling Sage here. If you don't know who Etta Candy is, you're not really into comics. Sorry, that was supposed to be funny.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know how tall Etta Candy is because Wonder Woman is supposed to be this tall. Well, she is an Amazon, but you
Yeah.
know what I say when I say tall Amazon.
And they wanted to make her a body positive role model. Really?
Well, jokes aside, I didn't mind. Like, I really liked the lady they got to play her in the first movie.
Oh, yeah, Gal Gadot
And
was. Yeah, Gal Gadot was really really cool.
I was talking about Etta. I was talking about Etta Candy. Like, I was talking about the girl that played her. I thought she did a really good job. I get the whole, body positive. Being someone who's struggled with my weight for a very long time, I don't ever want people to think it's okay to be overweight, like extremely overweight at least. But, on the same token, I do have to admit that actress was great in that role.
But Etta Candy is this short, chubby girl, and I'm 5'2" and have been heavy since like 3rd grade.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I've been heavy a lot longer than that.
So basically, if I wanted to cosplay anyone from Wonder Woman, it'd have to be Etta Candy, just because it only makes sense in that I don't have to basically kill myself to try and lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to lose weight, but it's basically a thing of I'd have to kill myself if I wanted to be like Wonder Woman or something.
Well, let's be serious though. There have always been, support characters that did not look like the heroes, and you could match Etta Candy alongside Alfred, alongside Bibbo, the guy that runs the restaurant in Metropolis, that Superman frequents all the time. There are support casts in every comic book backstory that these people, without them, our heroes would be dead 20 times over at least.
Oh yeah.
Alex actually brings up a good point. Back then, studios were forced to do edits. Now it's intentional to jerk themselves off and spite the fans.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny how that works.
Basically, this
Another
is kind
reason
of
why current year fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem with recent Etta Candy, I have no problem with her losing weight because it would make sense if she wanted to, be able to help Wonder Woman more. You kind of have to be a little more fit if you're gonna, be fighting crime and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing, they made her about the same height as Wonder Woman, and then they decided that, oh, the reason she did it is because she was jealous of Wonder Woman's figure. I'm like, way to ruin a good character, you jackasses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't do it to get healthy. She did it because she was jealous of Wonder Woman, which goes completely against her character.
Oh yeah. Totally.
And I know how you guys feel about that. It's just
couldn't
ridiculous.
do it to where she was like at the doctor's office and the doctor's like, look, if you don't lose the weight, we're gonna have to cut your foot off. No. Oh, I'm gonna lose weight because I'm jealous of my best friend.
And basically, that's just the thing that really freaking irks me is how people always say that, people in anime actually look beautiful because basically they're actually staying in shape. They actually have nice curves and stuff like that. And yeah, it's actually problematic because basically they're actually kind of giving women nowadays, something to look like and something men can enjoy. But
Another reason why Japan is pretty much master race in this scenario,
Oh, I love
because
the
they
people
just
who
don't give a fuck about Western sensibilities.
I love how people here are complaining about how it's unfair that it's mostly skinny girls and stuff, and I'm like, have you seen the food people in Japan eat? It's a hell of a lot healthier than what we eat here.
I
Even
mean,
their unhealthy food.
I know I can't live without my junk food, but basically, I'm trying to cut down, and basically, this whole freaking thing with cancel culture and stuff like that, and basically
I
all
call it
these
cancer culture, dude.
basically body positive type people. It's just freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. But see, I love how, we get in trouble for body shaming somebody if we speak the truth to them, but they'll turn around and say everything that we get in trouble for saying. They'll turn around, they'll talk about how fat I am. Hell, they'll tell me I ain't seen my member in, 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Um,
But
you
God
know,
damn
Oh
it, you're a
yeah,
man. Only women are
hypocrisy
allowed
at
to
its
not be
finest, dude.
insulted.
but if we said anything like that to them, they freak completely out.
But it's different. It's different. You're a man. Only women are allowed to not be insulted for being fat.
Oh, well, no, no, no. Okay, so I've got, and that thing, I got one from the other day. This guy was going on and started stalking my other tweets. Well, he's talking about how uneducated and narrow-minded and how Neanderthal like I am and what a bigot I am, and and he's Hispanic, but he was talking about the way I talk about women and everything, which I don't feel like I talk about women any different than I talk about men. I mean, you like people or you respect people. You don't really tend to spit on them. But anyway, I basically got fed up and I accused him of simping for every woman he finds in hopes that in hopes that
Well,
they'll
technically,
save him. Well, in hopes that eventually, whenever one of them finally comes back to him with one of his with a past incident of sexual abuse, that he'll have some of them come to his defense. He blocked me immediately. I feel like I feel like I struck a nerve there.
BT. BT.
Oh yeah,
How can I
you
possibly
just laid
forget
it
BT?
down thick, dude.
He has said stuff he wanted to do to Monica that Monica is accusing Vic of doing. And I'm like,
You notice all of their stories about each
wow.
other are suddenly about Vic.
Yeah.
Of course, it's always about Vic.
But
But-
used to. These were the stories they were telling about each other and complaining. Suddenly they are retelling them, and Vic is the bad guy in every scenario now.
Exactly. It's
Why
just
do I
freaking
get the
ridiculous,
feeling
guys.
this is like that one
Yeah.
Simpsons episode where Homer gets accused
Homer
of
Badman.
sexual harassment?
That's what it was called, Homer Badman. And basically he peeled a gummy candy or the gummy DeMilo off the babysitter's rear end. And from her perspective, she thought he was copping a field. And as a kid, I'm like, why would you want to eat that after it's been stuck to her butt?
Well, Homer's a
Missing
moron.
the point. Missing the point.
It's fucking Homer, dude. Just roll with it.
Yeah, but I missed the point as a kid. As an adult, I get what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a thing of the babysitter ends up getting the wrong idea. Homer gets crapped on for something he didn't do. And it takes Willie showing a video. And what kind of pisses me off about this episode is Homer basically gets to go back to his life as if nothing happened. That doesn't
Exactly,
actually happen
exactly.
in real life.
You know, I'm
And
gonna
see,
have to
that's the
find that
thing.
episode again to rewatch it because basically it's been a while since I last watched The Simpsons, and I know that show's been going on for so
You ain't
long.
gonna want to watch it. You ain't gonna want to watch it. It's on Disney Plus only right now.
Yeah.
God damn it!
No, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find it on YouTube.
Well, probably.
I found a couple Simpsons episodes on YouTube that have been sped up so that technically YouTube can't flag it as copyright.
Or they put the border around them where you don't see the full screen and all that. It's great.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
well,
I've seen
they
every
gotta
freaking.
do that, but that's the only way you can watch it for free without YouTube being like copyright strike.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on this because basically it is just ridiculous.
One of my
Oh,
favorite
did y'all hear about?
one of my favorite
Oh, go.
YouTubers lost his channel because Warner Brothers copyright striked him for his reviews of the various Scooby-Doo series. That creepy long-haired guy. He got his channel taken down, and I'm hopeful he can get it back up, but that pissed me off.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing. They'll copyright strike you if they don't think you're making the money.
Oh my god, good one, Alex.
Money, money, money. It's always about the almighty dollar in the end of the day.
Mr. Anime,
Yes.
Post Alex's thing.
That's why I hate
Uh-oh.
cronyism.
Yeah, basically, it's just ridiculous.
Post Alex's message. It's good.
Alex says they're literally the real life versions of blue haired Life is Strange chick. Blame somebody else for your mistakes instead of taking accountability.
Oh
I was
yeah,
actually
that. Oh yeah, Chloe. I fucking hate her. I hope she dies in a fucking flaming ball of death.
Which one are we talking about?
Chloe.
The first one.
The one that the main character you play as has a heart on for.
Oh.
Or
wait, which one are we talking about? What game?
The first one.
Female equivalent of a heart on is.
Oh, Life is Strange. Okay.
I mean, the main character.
I prefer calling it Life is Cringe.
Is willing to let her town be destroyed.
I've never played it.
Save this one chick.
Neither have I.
An asshole.
And I won't have to because Let's Plays.
Mm.
The internet makes the whole world go around, don't it?
I mean, it's more of a walking simulator, but a good game that I love is What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah, not really into it, man. Not much into walking simulators.
I say it's
unless, of course, it's made by Hideo Kojima.
Because you play as the main character who's trying to find out about her family and how her family became famous for possibly having a curse on them because every family member dies a tragic death, with the main character at the end basically only dying in childbirth as she gives birth to her child, but everyone else dies horrifically.
That's really depressing.
Like, you got the baby whose mother leaves him in the bathtub, so he accidentally turns on the water. You can guess what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
You got the you got the little girl who was hungry, but her mom wouldn't let her have anything from the kitchen and send her to bed without supper, so she eats toothpaste and an old carrot from her gerbil's cage, as well as holly berries. And it's like, holy hell.
Lord have mercy.
Are we dealing with abusive assholes here, or
That being said, Alex said something in the comments. Is saying, we were talking about money, and he was saying something about Lucasfilm intentionally burning Star Wars to the ground. The thing is that they're not afraid of us. They're afraid that we're going to lose money for them. It's us that's the problem. They will give everything over to an SJW for fear of being canceled when that's what's losing the money.
You
But
I also like
the way
Rogan said, watch ER's review of Life is Strange. You'll laugh your pants off. Already did there, Alex.
Whoa.
So 10 steps way ahead of you.
I
Um,
said
who's
this
ER?
when I heard that Amber Heard's screen time in the sequel is getting reduced. I said, I will go and see the second movie if her reduced scene involves Wonder Woman holding her severed head.
Ha!
That is the only way.
Well, if it goes into Flashpoint, that might be a distinct possibility.
Because
Oh yeah,
that is the only way I will see that movie is to, even if it's only fictional version of it, see Amber Heard's decapitated head hanging from a better actress's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'd watch that.
definitely.
Or rather, I'd buy that for $1.
I was big. I don't know. I would need to actually see the fight first, because say what you will about Amber Heard. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, let's
Also,
not
another
dig
thing
yourself a
from
hole.
Alex.
I do want to see her bounce around in that costume a little bit before they get rid of her.
Woke scolds, commies, fascists, are grasshopper
And then I
people.
remembered the thing about Johnny Depp's bed, and suddenly I don't care anymore. Damn it!
Yeah, me neither.
Well, that goes out the window.
Fuck the woke scolds. Oh, it's the moment we stop taking them seriously is the moment we get to building our giant pat labor robots.
I mean, you think Warner Brothers would have learned by now, considering Birds of Prey was basically stomped by the Sonic movie because, Paramount listened to the fans when they said they don't like the design of Sonic. Meanwhile, anyone who was like, you should see Birds of Prey instead, or were trying to basically discredit Sonic before the movie came out, saying, we saw a naked woman in Sonic, and I'm like, my, are you a time traveler? Because
Oh my god.
it hasn't come out yet.
Oh, did you see where they announced Sonic 2?
Yeah. I actually hope
but I'm also disappointed because I was hoping they'd show it during the holidays just to correlate with Eggman's thing of I'll be home by Christmas. That would have been perfect.
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
could still.
By the way, D&D
They could
girl,
still wait.
could you raise your volume a bit?
As high as I can go, man.
What was that?
I said that's as low as I'm gonna go. I have it cranked up to the max.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on her end.
Oh.
Can you hear me better now?
A little more.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I don't know how to make it any louder. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We just actually have to deal with it. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
I can honestly say nobody has ever told me that I need my volume to be louder.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I picked my iPad up off my bed, figuring maybe the fabric of my comforter was muffling it. And when you said you still couldn't hear me, I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you then.
also, Alex brings up another point. You could not pay me enough to watch Birds of Prey. I already sat through Captain Marvel.
Okay, so
I don't have to watch Birds of Prey or Captain Marvel because other people told me these suck.
Okay. You guys have to understand something. I still stand by the MCU as it was before Endgame, but here's my problem. Up to Captain Marvel, everything that everybody complained about, even the guys on our side, this is woke, this is soy, this is all that. I could find excuses for all of them until I saw Captain Marvel. And I'm not joking. I came out of that movie wanting to rub my junk on something just so I could spread some toxic masculinity. The thing is, the thing is that movie was every bit the nightmare that we thought it was going to be. And then they go ahead.
The thing is, I was willing to, give the movie a chance, even though I don't really like woke. But the minute Brie Larson said that she didn't want straight white men seeing it, I'm like, okay, I'm not welcome either, because my father and my uncles who will take me to the movies would be watching this movie, and they're straight white men. So I'm not.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Before that movie, before her comments and that movie, I used to be, like I said before, there's a difference between Christopher Sabat and the characters that he plays. I enjoy his acting. I can recognize and appreciate a good voice acting skill, but as a human being, he's a dumpster fire. And the thing is that. With her, I figured, okay, fine. Maybe the movie won't be that woke. Maybe she's just, like that off screen. And then I watched the movie, and I was incredibly disappointed. My bar was already as low as it could go, and they dug a trench, picked up my bar, and threw it in head first. So, anyway, I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But that being said, I have, like with Birds of Prey, I finally watched it bootleg, like on a site that we're not going to talk about. But anyway, the point is, yeah, no, it wasn't that one. But no, this one's just a watching site. Like it just streams it. It doesn't, you don't download anything. But anyway, so the thing is that I finally watched that movie, and I have some legitimate critiques. I'm not talking about the, this is woke garbage. I'm talking about legitimate critiques. First off, making Cassandra Cain a helpless little girl pissed me off to no end. We're talking about a girl that the first time she met Batman, she almost broke his arm. Like, as a little girl in the streets, like, she almost caused harm to one of the greatest martial artists and crime fighters on the planet. And then, we'll talk about Huntress. They completely raked her character through the mud. But going back to the parts that were not quite so bad, Journey Smollett, her character, her version of the Black Canary, if that had not been supposed to be representing the Black Canary, had they made a character, that was not in the comic books, she did a good job. She made you care about that character, but nothing about that character was the Black Canary besides her powers. And they even found a way to screw that up.
Harley Quinn is an example of making a character that didn't start out in the comics.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, and X-23 as well, or Laura, as they call her after the Logan movie. But the thing is that she started in X-Men Evolution, a show that barely made it past. They didn't even really get to kick off that series, proper. And
I was disappointed with that because I don't care what anyone says. I loved X-Men Evolution. It was basically
I have it. I bought it on DVD.
It's basically
I have the whole series.
Comic book world, because of the fact that here were the characters, teenagers. I was about 12 or 13 at the time when the show came out, and it's like,
yeah.
And basically, I could sympathize with them because I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. It was basically something for me someone to look up to and know that they would know how I would feel,
Well, and that's the thing. Even the characters that you don't like completely, identify with, you see characters like Spike. I remember being a kid thinking, "What the hell? How you gonna walk away? I mean, these people are your family. You literally have an aunt that lives there. You're gonna get all upset because that weird energy drink, turns you into a monster." And of course, he goes and hangs out with the Morlocks, but the thing is that it irritated me because even the characters, like I said, there are story arcs in that series, in both that one and in the '90s X-Men, that make you like see the side of the villains, make you understand where why Quicksilver's such a shithead, make you understand why Mystique is such a vile manipulator. I mean, you see all of their points of view, and you begin to see them less as good guys and bad guys, and more like people that are trying to protect and people that are looking out for themselves. And
That's the power of good writing.
and it is because that's how Stan Lee. Oh, go ahead.
Before things had to be changed, because every time a year passes, you basically get to a point, where characters being alive during World War II just won't make sense unless they're immortal,
Yeah.
But back when Magneto was first introduced, you find out that he was basically in a concentration camp as a child, but when he was an adult, you basically find out his reason to hate humanity is because a bunch of guys refused to let him use his powers. They bashed him in the back of the head to knock him out to save his eldest daughter Anya from burning alive in his
Yeah.
house. And it's like, well, when you find that out, you kind of side with Magneto, because it's like he could have easily saved her. Instead, she burned alive as she jumped out the window and smoldered in the snow. And then his wife was
Yeah.
terrified when he killed the guys who stopped him, and she ran off pregnant with his second daughter and his first son. And it's like, well, damn, you kind of can't blame Magneto after that.
Well, okay, and I love that, but what's really cool though is when you see that writing, and that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the really good writing there. All of the best villains have a reason to do what they're doing. Lex Luthor believes he's saving humanity. He believes he is evolving humanity, that he is pushing the advancement of our race, and under his will, under his guidance, that that humanity will become the best it could possibly be. That is, that's the basis for what he does, why he does what he does. And so when you see,
I definitely like the thing he has now, but when he was first introduced, his main reason for hating Superman is because Superman destroyed his house after it caught on fire from chemicals and stuff, and ended up blowing Lex's hair off. And he's like, I hate you. I'm gonna get revenge on you now because I don't have hair. I'm like, that is a weak reason to go after Superman.
well, but at the time, way back in the day, they didn't need strong reasons. Back in the day, Stan Lee said it best. He said that comic books, when he first started in comics, comic books were written, and this is a quote from the man himself. He said, comic books were written for children and not particularly bright ones.
Well, I must
they were
a child because they also had it in the
That's kind of why Stan Lee is the man, dude.
70s or whatever.
Well, he changed the game. Him and his partners, him and the people that worked with him, they wanted you to think. They wanted you to see why characters are the way they are. The man behind the mask, not the hero themselves, but the identity they assumed behind the heroism. That was what we were meant to focus on. We knew about Peter Parker's life. We knew about who Ben Grimm was before he was the Thing. We knew who we knew who little by little, piece by piece, how badly Logan wanted to reclaim his entire life. And the more we see them, the more we see their anguish. Stan Lee said that when he wrote the Fantastic Four, he wanted to create heroes that were, and I quote, not much better than the villains they fought. He wanted, I mean, because the thing is that if you love, if you really follow the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, yes, that they came together and they saved people, but it was due to selfish hubris that they became the Fantastic Four. And when they used their powers, they each had their own motives for doing so. Reed Richards wanted to show the world that he was the best. Susan Storm cared about her family more than she cared about the people they were saving, which is not wrong. But the thing is that if she had to choose between the life of her brother, the man she loved, or even Ben, her brother figure, if she had to choose between one of them and a truckload of people, you get the feeling that she would choose her family. And then of course Johnny Storm wanted the world to, he wanted his name in lights, he wanted everybody to see him, to recognize him. And it's not until later that they became altruistic. It's not until later that they that their selfishness kind of reeled back a little bit. The only difference between them and the villains, because was their intentions, their motives for using their power as they became the heroes that we know today.
But
and
I kind of went off there.
Good writing.
But
Yep.
But I remember watching the old Justice Friends or whatever it was called.
Super Friends.
Yeah, the one with where depending on which season you were watching, you either got the Wonder Twins or you got those two random kids with the weird dog. But
Wonder Twins equals worst superheroes ever.
Okay, but Wonder Twins are another.
Technically, Wonder Twins, one had a good power, the other kind of got gypped. Form of any water.
Well, yes, but let's be honest here. The Wonder Twins, like Harley Quinn, like X-23, they were made specifically for the television show, and because of that, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of. They were basically meant to be, powered sidekicks that they were meant to be laughed at. They were meant to be more trouble than they were worth. To get it to. Yeah, and how many times did the damn monkey save them before the Justice League had to? I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. The monkey was more useful than they were, and at the end of the day, that's what we're looking at when we see when we see these sort of things. We see the writing there. I still blame that show for ruining Aquaman, for the reason why people have made fun of Aquaman for 50 freaking years. That show was, Aquaman was never everybody's favorite, but he was never the butt of everyone's joke. And then that show came out.
The Justice League cartoon made him badass.
Well, yes, but it was a process. What had happened was, because he wasn't being taken seriously in the comics either by the beginning of the 2000s. So what happened is in the year 2000, we see this hardcore, hook-handed, king of Atlantis that's grumpier than Batman and has the weight of 75% of the world on his shoulders, literally, because he's underwater.
The guy who only ended up with a hook because he had to get loose somehow, so he used
he could save the life of his son.
Baby.
Gotta go.
Oh, later, man.
Later.
Well, he kind of muted himself, so he didn't actually leave the stream. So.
Oh. Well, why didn't he just say he'll be right back then?
Well, no, I think he is leaving.
But anyway, I was I saw the backstory, which appeared in the comics, because years later I decided to look it up, and I
Yeah.
found out it actually happened. And even as a child, watching it on Cartoon Network, when Cartoon Network was still kind of a new thing, because it came out in the 90s. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? That's why you fight Superman? Because he blew your hair off? Gee, sorry he
Hmm.
decided to save your life, you jackass.
I mean, at least My Hero Academia does it better because basically they've got like well-rounded heroes and villains. And basically, we also get to actually find out some of like the reasons why, like characters like Hinata Toga, Shigaraki, and all that kind of stuff, how they became
Mm.
villains, and like all the reasons why, like Uraraka,
Hmm.
Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, why they're actually becoming heroes.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I
and that's the
actually
thing.
I actually love that the reason Izuku only gets attacked by Stain is because he's basically trying to stop Stain from killing Ida. But Stain's
Hmm.
like, I like you. You will be a good hero. However, your friend is not being very heroic, so I have to kill him.
Well, and that's the thing. Stain. I love Stain because he reminds me of the stuff from like Spawn or Lady Death. He's that kind of villain. And
Captain Hook Aquaman.
yeah, Captain Hook, Aquaman. But let me touch back on that real quick. Okay, so it took, like I said, it took 10 years for Aquaman to come, or 12 years for Aquaman to be taken seriously again. They had to, we see him in the Justice League as the King of Atlantis, the dark, brooding, hardcore, hook-handed, master of combat. Then we see, what we see later on in Batman: Brave and the Bold. We see this parody of Errol Flynn, the old Robin Hood, movie, Errol Flynn, outrageous. Yeah, everything that he did was crazy, over the top, and larger than life. And yes, people laughed at it, but they didn't laugh at it the way they used to laugh at him. Instead, they laughed because of his antics, because of things he meant to do, not because they were making fun of him. So then we move forward to the New 52 when they rebooted everything in 2011. We see a cross between the two. He's over the top like one. He's dark and brooding when he's not fighting, and he does, anyway, then we see the Injustice games. And for the first time, when you see Aquaman, when you play as Aquaman, and he does these kick-ass moves that can beat Superman, or beat Doomsday, and suddenly that was pretty much complete. So we see him in the Justice League movie, and you know what? Say what you will about the Justice League movie, Aquaman is not the weak point of that movie. And we see him, and then Jason Momoa breathes life into this character, and he creates, him and the Zack Snyder and the rest of them, they create this version of this character. And here we are, a 15-year journey to finally seeing Aquaman as he should have been all this time.
I'm
And
not gonna lie. I did kind of like making fun of Aquaman. Like when I went to a con one year, I think I was cosplaying as Luffy from One Piece, but my
mm,
younger sister was with me, and my younger sister is more into DC than Marvel, and I'm more Marvel
mm,
than DC. So when there was a group of guys dressed as several members of the Justice League plus Joker, I took a couple
mm.
pictures and then I said, "Okay, Aquaman, get out of the way. No one likes you." And he's like, "Hey, I'm peaceful."
That's messed up. Especially coming from a rubber man who can't even swim. I'm sorry, that was wrong.
Well, like I admit, I kind of like to make fun of Aquaman, especially with the BP incident where they show him covered in oil laying next to
Okay, I'm back.
I told
All right.
you.
Yeah.
I told
Okay, you win. You win. I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Hey,
Okay,
we all
what
make
were
mistakes.
we talking about?
We were discussing whether you were coming back or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're just like, gotta go, and then you took off.
So I could still join in the conversation. Probably worded it wrong.
So
Yeah,
you
said,
literally,
go.
and then you listened to us argue whether you were going to come back or not. You jackass.
Sorry, I was going to clean up.
I got to give you props. That was great, man. That was awesome.
Didn't really mean that, really.
Okay, according to Alex, Brave and the Bold wasn't my thing, but it was definitely opposite of Super Friends and how characters were treated.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, then we were talking about something else. We got like sidetracked because I do that.
Besides, we're just having fun. That's the point of the stream. It's just actually unwind,
Oh yeah, we were gonna bash Netflix live adaptations when you got back, and we never did. Okay, so
fuck Netflix, man. Especially cuties, man. Yeah, I'm never letting that go.
Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Every time I manage to forget.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Brings it back up.
That's my curse.
Yeah, basically, I don't want to talk about that either because basically, A, it's disgusting. B, I don't know why people are defending it. And C, it's just freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not question.
What's up, man?
W's, man. Especially Movie Bob.
In fact, Omega Katana says, man, fuck live activists.
Omega, man, why don't you jump in here?
Omega, yeah, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in.
Yeah. Hang on. I'll just actually leave Omega Katana the whoops under the private chat here. Hold on.
Whoops.
Let me comment. Yeah, Omega, if you want to join in, just I'll leave a link to the. Hang on a second, dude. I'll be right with you. Whoops.
Give me the link, please.
Messing up over here. Hang on. Hang on. I'm trying to freaking add it in there. There we go. There we go. And it should be up there. So just let me know when you're ready. All right.
And what about Alex? Is there a reason why you ain't coming up in here, man?
He's actually working right now, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
And another reason why I'm jealous of people who actually work.
Okay, so I do want to know, Matt, do I have you on Twitter?
All right. Hello, how's it going, everyone?
Fuck, dude.
Huh?
Yo, Omega.
What's awesome?
What's up? Glad you guys can hear me, but let me add a thing to it. Why everyone's defending pedophilia when it comes to live action adaptations of films?
Yeah, while yelling at us and calling us pedophiles.
God, yes, Alex, join.
I know you're joking, dude, but I'm talking about the people who are support of cuties.
Especially movie slob.
Screw that guy, man. He's irrelevant. He's gonna be irrelevant in 3 years. So let him have his fun.
They claim it's because it basically points out all the bad stuff that it does, like dressing girls up like hookers and stuff. But I can tell you exactly why. Black French woman created it and directed it. That's the reason.
Oh, thank you. That's why exactly, dude.
Alex, I actually left the link to left the link to the stream in the description and the comments. So if you want to join in, just click on the
Okay,
link
thanks,
and
Mr. Anime. And can I
yeah.
add something here for
Yeah,
our
go ahead.
topic? Yesterday, I was talking with the Kenshi Critique. Really good episode. And we talk about with fandom and how everyone gatekeeps in order to weed out the bad elements out. Everyone does it. Your job from the job interview. Why you wonder why there's a job interview? Because they're gatekeeping their company, making sure it's the job. And as I gave an example also with the animal kingdom, that animals do it too. And if you go out of
they
line,
do it.
when you go out of line, the worst part is you're going to die because you challenge them.
I've basically seen stories.
And then, of course, we also have to mention my Facebook anime group, Vintage Anime Otaku.
Yeah.
New group with blackjack, hookers, and metal.
Yeah, been there. Love that place. Sorry I haven't been interactive in there because I've been slacking off of Facebook lately. I don't interact there that much anymore.
I don't blame you there, Omega dude. I really don't blame you.
Niggas out there, man. Sorry about my French, but insane people out there. But we have a great discussions about life lessons. Go check out my recent live stream podcast episode about it, and it was a banger. You should you should check it out. And I'm going to plug yourself into Mr. Anime's 343 stream. Really sorry about that, dude.
It's all good, man. Besides, we're just actually here shooting the breeze and just, letting off some frustration,
Yeah.
Basically,
I'm going back to the thing about the live action Powerpuff Girls.
Good. Go ahead.
That I don't like.
Howdy.
The Powerpuff Girls are gonna
Yo, what up, Alex?
What up? Have fucking fingers, and that's creepy as hell to me.
Yeah. Can I add one?
Yeah, and the fan art's already not kind to them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of driving, so my signal may be off. Sorry.
Yeah, VNB girl. Can I add one thing to it? It's like that old topic you love, that the OIT you love in the '90s. What a reboot is supposed to bring fans in, but what Hollywood's doing is like filtering out the stuff they think is corny, like color superhero badassery, cartoony slapstick, awesome elements of giant monsters and teamwork and what stuff kids actually like. Why people love it?
Man,
and they dull and boring.
And they want to make it all dark and gritty just to appeal to the not fans to the source material.
Look, I don't mind dark and gritty from time to time, but it's like Cal Art. After a while, can I have some variety, please?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you can have too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think of proper dark and gritty, I think Votoms, I think Tekkaman Blade, I think Garo, I think Space Runaway Ideon, and I think
Spawn. Lady Death.
Oh yeah, Spawn, dude.
Ooh, Spawn.
Watchmen.
I miss Spawn.
Yeah. For the longest time, I thought people forgot about Spawn, except for me, for years.
Oh, Todd McFarlane has come back to actually do the art for Spawn again in the comic.
Yeah.
I watched the anime.
And he is doing some kick-ass shit.
HBO.
Yeah.
I love Todd McFarlane, dude.
Yeah.
He's a great artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the closest. Okay, don't start that. Don't start that. I will defend Rob Liefeld to the ends of the earth.
Characters I would love to see return from the Batman animated series, Baby Doll.
Huh?
Baby Doll.
Baby Doll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shirley Temple.
Was such a perfect character. She had a tragic backstory and everything because she basically probably can't get work anywhere else unless it's to play a child character when it comes to acting, because she's like Gary Coleman pretty much.
Oh yeah. That's the power of good writing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who did we lose?
We lost
Mr. Anime.
Oh no. Oh no 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 no
He
no!
died. Mr. Anme's dead.
Don't say that.
I'm just joking.
Just let me actually heating myself
You're
up by
back from the
accident.
dead.
Oh,
Yay.
hallelujah! We thought we lost you.
Oh, and I was just joking. Like I will defend Rob Liefeld, but I'm not like really jumping down anybody's throat. I just that's the thing. Like I do enjoy his art. I feel like it's kind of a cross between caricature and impressionism. And so, he draws characters as he sees them, how their personalities are versus how they would be realistically.
Yeah, basically it's the whole
I
fantasy
think I can
thing.
respect
It's
that.
not realistic. It's just fantasy. It's like entertainment at the end of the day. No one's going to wear like a jumpsuit in real life with two M16s and have a belt buckle like a bullet buckle like Rambo.
Pockets. He is the reason. Rob Liefeld is single-handedly the reason why I have to have at least 30 pockets on every outfit that I wear.
And 4
Yeah.
shoulder pads on your shoulders.
Okay, I don't need shoulder pads because I've already got broad shoulders.
Zippers and belts.
I envy men because they're allowed to have pockets on their pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do feel really bad for y'all. Like, my
If I want to go see a movie, all I really need is, my wallet and my phone. That's about it. But no, I can't be allowed to have pockets to fit both those things, so I have to bring a purse, and it drives me fucking insane.
I can see that.
I usually prefer pants with pockets because basically it's much more easier to just store stuff in your pockets and be able to actually carry it around.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I can fit most of my wallets and keys in my pockets, I prefer it. Unless I go to the gym, in which case the gym pants, the pockets on those are typically not very deep, unless they have zippers on them, which keeps the stuff in there. In which case I go for a handbag or whatever, the kind that you strap to yourself.
Exactly.
I personally think it's fashion companies making sure women are forced to buy purses.
I do. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh yeah.
And it's also because that's the thing. It's not just. It didn't start out with women having to buy purses and stuff. They started out because they realized that back in the day, especially men would not buy for themselves, but they'd buy for their women in a heartbeat. And so the trick was to get women to want it so bad that men, because that was back when men went to work and women stayed at home. Back when Sears was on top of the world and Macy's and all the rest of them, and everything was built to appeal to women, so that the women would like it and their men would loosen their wallets. That was literally the marketing strategy.
In other words, they appealed to the patriarchy as opposed to now where it's like they want nothing to do with us.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like having bags to go with, nice outfits and stuff. But if I'm just, going to Walmart to buy something, I really don't need a purse,
Exactly.
Especially with credit cards and stuff. You now have credit, so you don't really need a purse. You just need to make sure you don't lose your credit card,
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, like I was saying, it's like what Omega Katana was actually saying when it comes to anime and stuff like that. They're trying to actually get crumbs from the Phantom audience, which don't even buy their own products. But they tend to cater to them over the actual, consumers, the fans, and the customers.
Yeah.
They don't even pay attention.
Well, because they're ashamed of us.
They're ashamed.
We're not the demographic they want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who do
it's kind of like,
because if they want women, I'm a woman and I don't like the shit they're putting out.
Well, that's the thing.
Okay.
You're not the ideal customer they want, as opposed to the ones they already have, so they pretend you don't exist.
Exactly.
Let me go up to Kathleen Kennedy, punch her in the face, and say, "Do I not exist, bitch?
Kathleen Kennedy, man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Stig Kenobi called it. I haven't seen it, but the Ben Shapiro interview came out, and Gina came out and said, "Yeah, Kennedy and the others at Lucasfilm, they kicked me out, and Jon Favreau actually did try to keep me in there, but at the end of the day, it ultimately proves Stig's point. Favreau is still technically subservient to Kennedy, and she still has.
He doesn't have a choice if he wants to keep his job.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm sorry.
Of course.
Menace, but he and Raging Ryan
right now, John Favreau and Dave Filoni remind me of certain politicians. A good politician is still a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
it's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, I just thought of something because I was thinking back to the whole thing with Star Wars Girl, giving the current form of She-Hulk, tatas.
I'm glad she did that.
And I'm wondering,
that was hilarious.
Are these women jealous of not having a peener or something? Is that why they're trying to lob tits off?
That's actually a legitimate theory.
That they're self-hating women.
Mental illness 101.
Is they're jealous that
why do I get images of Kaine from Nier in mind?
Oh, yeah. It's just a bunch of people who have a mental illness. Sorry about the LGBTQ whatever episode.
Well, yes.
I don't want
to. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Not all of the LGBT are okay and on board with this woke garbage.
No,
like that. That's
one of them.
And those are the kind of LGBLT ZOMG. What WTF? Oh my God! What the fuck? Barbecue.
Let's just call them the alphabet people. Let's just call them the alphabet people. They're not.
Yeah, the call them alphabet people. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. There are a couple heavy set characters like Rose Quartz from Steven Universe that I like, but I tend to like women who are like traditional She-Hulk.
Yeah. Well, okay, and that's the thing. Well, and that's the thing. Take shows like Adventure Time or Steven Universe. Most of us will agree that we got okay with those shows after a while. It's not those shows themselves that are the problem. It's what they ushered in. It's kind of like back when Harry Potter decided to split the 7th book into 2 movies, and suddenly Twilight did it too, and then we all hated Harry Potter for opening the door to that evil. Because then the Hunger Games
from the word go.
I did not know
that's
Twilight
fine.
Did that because I'm not really
Twilight did it.
Because
well,
I'm sorry, I don't mind hot vampires. My first vampire movie was Interview with a Vampire, but it's like I want my vampires to be vampires, not blood-sucking pixies.
Yeah.
Vampire Hunter Helsing rule.
It's why I like Helsing so much. It's like, you know what? Fucking bring in the scary vampire.
Oh, I had the biggest crush on Alucard.
Yeah.
Alucard is like my favorite, and the fact that he's Dracula just makes it even better. And I like how they kind of did they kind of acknowledged the whole Vlad the Impaler aspect, where it's like, yeah, some versions of Dracula, they don't play around with it as much. But here
don't even get me started on why Hellsing Abridged is so fucking amazing, man.
Yeah.
The abridged was great.
The abridged was funny, especially
the abridged actually would have been something Kota Hirayama would have written because it matches with his humor style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My favorite scene of Abridged is when you got the guys dressed as Klansmen and you have the one guy say, "I'm from Israel," and everyone's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I find it funny that there was, I don't think a lot of people did, but some were like, why are they dressed like KKK members? And of course, the rest of us who are educated or try to learn about it, they're like, no, that's like Spanish garb from the Crusade era. And wear that today.
Oh, yeah.
Ceremonies.
That's actually what the KKK were trying to emulate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I I am a simp for Alucard. I am basically the person who'd be like, I would die for you.
Yeah.
Not a bad vampire to simp for, I dare say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arcana Lover X.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh crap, we lost Omega, dude. No.
Oh
I'm gonna do
no.
another guy here.
Hey,
Wanted to
guys.
come on, so I can only allow 6 people on at a time. So, which is actually pretty sucky, though.
Oh bummer.
Yeah, that sucks about StreamYard, dude.
I don't know.
Well, I need to hop off.
All right. Well, it's actually fun talking to you, man. Hope you actually have a good
Yes,
time
you're
wherever
right,
you are.
Hero.
Yeah, man, I'll hop off and let you guys get a chance.
Okay. Well, have a good one, man.
Yep.
But
All right. We got Omega back.
Okay, sorry about that. And I was about to hop off too, but I was about to supposed to click like the chat button, but unfortunately it kicked me off the stream by accident. Don't know why. My phone.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
I'm about
man,
ready
there's a
to
lot
call it.
going on in the stream. Everyone is talking at once.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry, guys, but listen, I'm probably gonna call it good for the stream right now. So
yeah,
basically, anybody like to actually say some final words before?
yeah. Can
you
I
know-
start first?
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Omega Katana, and I'm the founder and protector of the Omega 13th Dimension podcast, which talks about games and anime and all this sorts of interest. And we have a Spotify, we have a Google podcast, I even have a blog, for crying out loud. And don't forget to hit that subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that blue bell for notifications. That's all to say for now. Sayonara.
All right, D&D girl.
okay, in case Warner Brothers is watching, fire Amber Heard and stop ignoring the people who would actually buy your shit.
What she said.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, just Alex Kogan, with a K as it is, and I run a YouTube channel. Currently playing through the Yakuza, one of the Yakuza games right now, having fun with it, and that's where you'll find me. And I got nothing else.
All right, Matt.
This is Mad Matt here saying I've got nothing but this. Be excellent to each other and party on dudes. Oh, and by the way, fuck Movie Bob.
Yeah.
I have no idea who Movie Bob is.
Exactly.
Ain't this
Nobody
much.
here. He's a movie critic.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I actually really appreciate you being on the live stream. And as always, just remember these 3 things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy your fandoms, anime is freedom, and until the next one, this is Mr. Anime 343 saying, sayonara, everyone.
Okay.